the shop blew down last year, Hurricane Ida. And I mean, the roof went and the walls flipped out, and I managed to save a lot of equipment. But it went to hell. And we moved into here and did some other property changes. And there's a guy, he is now cutting our lawn. And my wife said, "Can you tear that down?" I tell you what, that guy cleaned house. I said, "Okay, here's the deal. We'll pay you what you want per hour. Everything you find in there, you can keep."
Oh my.
Everything. Yeah. And I had huge wooden cabinets full of tools that got crushed, but I have everything that I need right now in here. So that I would be putting up storage space forever in a day. And I don't believe in that one touch thing. If you're not going to use it today, don't touch it and let it go. Well, it's working. And Tommy's loving it. He came in the other day. He said, "The cat trap." I said, "Oh, wait. I need the cat trap." I don't like feral cats. So we take them on a ride and help them find a new neighborhood. And that doesn't always be happy, but they don't live with them under your house with the fleas and all that stuff. I got my little bitty rat dog, likes to go see where every coon goes and every possum crosses. And she heard me talking and came in here. I have foam pillows in 4 places in the house. I mean, really thick foam pillows. Used to be one of those 4 or 5 inch bed covers. And my wife made pillowcases for him. And she goes from one to the other throughout the day. She gave up laying on a towel on the floor. She's 12 years old. I'm going to get me someplace to live that's comfortable. So, all right. Who's been turning this week?
Not me.
Really? Why not?
No.
Oh, you had some illness in your family, huh?
Yeah, my brother was in the hospital. And he came home yesterday and went back to the hospital this morning.
He missed it?
Yep, missed it. Yep. I just talked to him a little bit ago.
I was in there this morning for another brain scan. It only took that long. It's on a quantity basis. But I had a scan done today, and I think Saturday I have one, and not a scan, another test, and then Monday another one. They're going to find out where this is coming from and what's causing it. But it's a flaw in the brain again. But they don't see a tumor or anything. And I'm not going to say yet. They just don't see it.
My brother said he had a PET scan, and they didn't find no pets. Yeah. He had a cat scan, and they found a couple of cats in there, he said.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, my cat scan I had a couple of weeks ago, that was $8,500.
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah. The insurance, thank God the insurance took care of that. But yeah, those things quite expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. About 5 or 6 years ago, my cardiologist, he's a teacher, and he handles mostly only transplant patients. But I got assigned to him when I was in for a heart attack, and he was a really great guy. And he said, "You're AFib, and I think we can fix that." And I said, "Okay, I'm all for that. I could take 4 pills a day for it, but what the hell?" He says, "It's going to be free. We're going to put you in an Avid Labs program, and they're going to put this gizmo in you, and it's going to be free." So they did. They went right down and put this gizmo in my heart that I lay on a mat and it reads the gizmo and it gives a report back to the hospital every day. went and had that put in, and it was a big deal for him, man. They had all kinds of people watching from the window and all because I was one of the first ones to get this. I didn't know at the time. I was the first ones to get it tested to see if Medicare will pay for it. And I remember the term free. We're home 2 days. The mail comes and I have a bill for $75,000. And if you call the billing department should be called the collection department. They only want to discuss how you're going to give them the money and what rate and all this. That's it. If you pay them $1 a month, it's okay with them, just as long as you're paying. And it took me about a month to get the cardiologist. I went back to him and I said, look at this. And he says, don't worry about it. It'll be fixed today. And the next day we had a revised bill, nothing. Wow. Finally, they put Abbott. See, they had to deal with Abbott Labs to pay the tab on this. But he said there'd be 5 steps. I had 4 out of the 5 steps done, all of them free. And the only one I didn't get done was a pacemaker because when they did the other 4, everything else went back in harmony. AFib went away. Actually, my blood pressure went down. Clotting didn't become a problem. It was an amazing program, and it was all tested. It was put in me so Medicare can see if they pay this up front, they won't pay the rest of the cost on the side. And I said, what's the rest of the cost? And he said, well, when you come in for congestive heart failure, it runs us about $140,000. So it was a little bit, pretty good business move.
Jeez.
Sue, how you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there.
Good.
Hanging in there. I was interested about your AFib because I have AFib. So yeah.
They did the shock thing to me
Did they?
twice. Yeah, they did it twice. It didn't take. And then after I had the gizmo put in, and they went and did something else, and then they did the test, and I was laying there, I was awake, and the guy says, "Okay, it's fixed." And the doctor said, "Well, you keep moving." I look at it, and he says, "No, I'm telling you, it's fixed. You can go." And it was fixed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't had the shock treatments. They're doing everything but differently right now. But you're right. I'm on 3 different pills.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. I mean, it's folks think, wow, you got to go through that much. Living has maybe become sometimes worth it, and that's the choice. I had a guy this morning at the hospital. The lady said, "How old are you?" And he says, "I'm old enough to remember steel bumpers on cars." I didn't think of that until we got to the parking lot and looked around and said, "Man, pickup trucks, yeah, but not a car in the place had a metal bumper on it. That like chrome that they would dress up like a '56 Buick had that artwork and all on it. That's all gone." So if you're going to age yourself, that's the way to do it.
That's scary because I'm that old.
Yeah. We're all that old. I remember my dad sending me out with steel wool to take off any little rust patches on the outside of the chrome. And then he'd polish it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, I heard a while back, a guy said, "Well, I don't know how old they are, but I was there when they made the Slinkies, the first ones."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was World War II, though. He wasn't really that old, and he was a vet. He was a World War II vet character boy. And
He had to be in the 90s.
yeah, he was in his 90s, but you'd never know how he was so functional and so sharp. He would flirt with all these young women that come up and say, "You in the war?" And he'd just start flirting with them. He really would, And I said, "What are you going to do?" He said, "Just enjoy my life." Working at the World War II Museum I guess I was there 2 years. and before I had the tumor thing, and um, it was always amazing when those older vets came in, World War II vets came in. They could put them at a table and just put a sign on them that says World War II vet, and there'd be a line of people in both directions to see him and talk to him, and thank him for what they did. And they had a bunch of them. I don't know how many are still with us, but they had a bunch. So, Billy Bird, I saw a couple of videos by you recently.
Yes, sir. You did indeed.
Yeah. Looks like you've been busy. You're feeling better.
Been trying to be busy. The problem is I've been busy doing everything but turning. I get a little turning done here and there, but it's not enough to suit me.
Okay.
Honeydews
You got that right.
sold in marble games.
Well, now that was a Billy do. That wasn't a honeydew. Took me 9 hours to build that marble run.
Ooh. I
And
built one.
I was just putting it together from a kit.
Wow.
Jeez.
I turned 3 Christmas gifts in one of his lives the other day.
Yes, you did.
I'm working on a couple of laser engraved items. I'm designing them and getting them ready. If she lets me, she has to be in here if I come in here, and or nearby. The other day, she needed to go in her studio for something. She says, "You need to go to the bathroom." Why? I need a break. I was only in grabbing trash to throw it out. But it's not used, but it's clean. And that broom thing's way overrated. Way overrated. We just talked about World War II veterans. Today is Pearl Harbor Day. It's not called that, but it really is. This is the day we found out what Americans were really made of. And Japanese took us to war. They probably didn't know who they were poking. Really didn't. You don't poke the bear.
No, you're talking about World War II veterans. I was in a bowling league when I was up at Wright Pat back in the early 2000s. And one of the teams that we bowled against was a team, they were all World War II vets. And after the game, I'd sit around at the bowling alley and visit with them. They were all flight crew, bomber flight crews, and the stories and just a wealth of knowledge spread amongst them, gentlemen. And it was always a pleasure to talk to them. And I always made sure I got a chance to speak with them and see how they were doing. It just phenomenal gentlemen to talk to.
Yeah, what they did with what we had, and then what we did to give them more, is actually an amazement. It is. I saw there's a landing craft, Higgins landing craft, in the museum downtown, and on the way to one of the clinics, they were moving another one down to the place where they renovated the first one, so they'd have a second landing craft done at the Higgins boat. But boy, I tell you, it looked like a rag. It really did. And I remember seeing the first one before they remodeled it. It looked like a rag. And right now it's looking like the one that Higgins just rolled out of the showroom. Those guys, and it's all volunteer labor that does it. And it's not volunteer older veterans, because they're pretty strict about what you got to do when you got to do it. It's not, well, I might work on that today. They had folks sign up and be ready weeks ahead of time. In fact, my neighbor waited 3 months to get on one of the programs. So it's nice. And if you know an older veteran, think of what they did, and somebody that did work in the war effort here, because my great aunt was a welder over there. And some one time I said something, I don't want to fix that trailer, but I got a weld that was such and such. She said, I can come teach you how to do that. I'm thinking, no, that ain't that, but she was that good. She came over the stick welder and a little 1/8 inch sticks and put a puddle in like it was nothing, like she'd done it every day of her life. It's amazing what we could go through and accomplish. Accomplish parts. Not what we try, it's what we accomplished. I had a couple other members contact me this week about things we do. Oh, I heard from Doug Rowe. Doug Rowe might be with us tonight. He's very involved with his new job as a teacher. Very involved. He said, but they're really hard on him because when he misspells a word, when he puts it on the blackboard, they all want to correct him.
My 8-year-old grandson does that to me all the time. All the time.
Well, that's good. It teaches you to be a better teacher. I'm all for that.
Well, when I was in high school, I experienced a math teacher that thought she was a math genius. And she put a problem on a board and she put the answer below it. And I said, that's not correct. And she says, how do you know that's not correct? I said, boy, you got an even number times an even number, and you came up with a non-number for a result. I don't think you can do that. And she said, oh, most certainly, I just showed it. And I said, but it's not correct because you can never say it's wrong. I had to go visit with my friend, the principal. Quickly, I said, but I didn't tell her she was wrong. And she said, was she wrong? And I said, oh, yeah, she was way off. And I explained the problem. She said, she should understand that. Even numbers multiplied by even numbers are even numbers. I said, well, unless she knows something I don't know.
That's a fact. And they can't blame it on new math because it wasn't around then.
No.
Yeah, I got to take my hat off to Doug Rowe, though, really. Being a public school teacher is no easy task. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Didn't do it very long, but my wife did. She's a retired math teacher. And I tell you what, I did the hours I was putting in when I was teaching in the public school system was absolutely ridiculous. And I'd watch her go through the same thing, but she loved it.
I filled in for a guy for a week while he went on vacation, and he's a great wood turner, and he was teaching in a very private school. I mean, they got the waiting list is from kindergarten on up to the 10th grade. And he was there and he said, look, can you come fill in? And I went over, but I didn't realize he was there from 7 in the morning to 8 at night, almost every single day of the week, because you had the program in the daytime regular class, and then you had workshops in the evening and presentations before that. And I just, man, I don't want to do this. I don't care what you get paid. That's more than I'd done as a superintendent when I was putting buildings up. And I thought that was a nightmare. I admire him, and he left a very good job, or retired from an excellent job and then picked this up. Because
I taught for 40 years.
You taught for 40 years?
Yes, I taught math for 40 years.
Wow.
That's why I'm so dumb.
Same grade, eh?
Are you like me when you're going for a brain scam? It's that fast?
Takes a lot longer for me, Captain. They have to find one.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering why to go through a rectum to do a scan.
That's it's the wrong kind of show.
That's the VA.
The girl said, I laid there and they put this thing on. She says, this only take a second. And the other girl looked at me, she says, no, the scan will take longer than that, which she means it'll take a second to put all the stuff on. I think it's one of those flashes by you. Find him with one of the best medical systems in the entire world, and really nice. A guy stopped us in the hall to ask us our opinion of the hospital. That was this morning. And he was a very nice young man, properly dressed, clean, well mannered. And I said, why? And we're standing in one of the elevator lobbies. And he said, well, we're interviewing people before and after they get treatment here. And I said, well, put up the poster and put my picture on it. There's no care better in the world. And he said, can you write that down? He said, most time going in, they have be a little cranky, and coming out, they look like they're more comfortable. And
Are we sure that's not the meds?
no, I'm not, but I like to get what they're taking. Really.
It could be.
Yeah. Really, really good. We're, this is the time of the year for us elderly folks to do the Medicare programs, for the bonuses or the assistance, where you pay in and they pay out and all this stuff. We didn't know until this year that our hospital offers that. It's been included in the bills. Every time we get a bill is something there about the program and, how you can get to it and all that. My wife is terrible about opening an envelope, pulling the bill out and tearing everything else up and throw it away. There could have been a check in there. She was terrible at it for years and years and years. And I watched her do it one day and said, is that from something? She said, it's spam mail. It was from the Veterans Benefits Enterprises, which is not scam mail. It's the company the vets have hired to handle communication on pending claims. So for a while, she was throwing away answers to our pending claim. It just said, oh, that's silly. Why didn't the VA send the note? They did. They just had somebody else deliver it. So, but she'll tell me one day, we're up to like 20 pieces of junk mail a day. It's not as bad as my phone. My phone gets about 31 spam calls a day. I'm kind of glad I don't answer it anymore. It's on silent. Yeah, it's on silent because it'll ring right in the middle of the meeting tonight. Dean, are you feeling better, sir?
Feeling about the same, Captain, but hopefully on the 12th, they'll get me back in shape. That's the plan anyway.
Good. Remember, when you're talking to the doctor, never question a mechanic.
Exactly.
You don't say, you sure it'll work? Okay, we'll put it off and see how it works out.
And don't tell them how to do the job.
No, don't tell them how to do the job. It's when they say they think this might work that it scares the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got that right, Dean.
I had a cardiologist do it when I had my bypass the first time. And he's a character, he really was. I'd never met him until the day before. And I knew he was kind of outgoing. And he comes over the screen, he says, man, you're all screwed up. He didn't use the word screwed, and I said, really? And he says, yep, we're going to have to open you up and fix some things. See that guy in the window over there? I said, yeah. He said, he's always wanted to do one of those. He'll be here tomorrow.
And wait till they tell you there's a 70% chance it'll work. Well, Doc, what if it doesn't? And then he explains it.
Yeah.
It's worse than that. Take a 25% chance of it working.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I had ruptured back, and I only had a 25% chance of walking when it was done. I proved them wrong.
There you go.
Way to go, Charlie.
Good for you, Charlie.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, look, let me show y'all. I'm sipping out of my Worldwide Woodturners cup. Isn't that cool? Isn't it nice? Got my picture. All right, go back to the picture. It's got my picture and all. I'd show you. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It,
I gotta
it was
show you
looking
this
pretty
stuff.
good till you turn it around to the picture.
Oh, I tell you what, I ain't for that one. Wait,
Kinda
wrong,
makes you
wrong
have
guy
one for
came up.
yourself,
Wrong
huh,
guy
Billy?
came up.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, I gotta go back to him. Billy Burt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to find the name on the list and I can't find it. Charlie, there it is. Charlie Bundy. There it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is a picture of the guy that gave me that cup. Right there.
Oh.
Good job, Charlie.
You're welcome, Cat.
Good job, Charlie.
Thank you so much, Charlie. It was really beautiful.
Charlie. Great
Oh,
job.
it is
Just
beautiful.
a small token of appreciation for everything you've done for the world of wood turning and service to your country.
Oh, quite. Whoa, man, you're gonna get tears in my eyes, Charlie.
Wee.
But that is a pretty thing you did for me.
Nice.
My daughter makes them.
What are you
Oh,
drinking,
wow.
Eddie?
You know,
What do you got inside that cup?
Brenda,
I
you
have to
don't
worry.
ask that, man.
water doesn't hurt anything. And if we go out and eat someplace and they come and say, what would you
We're
like to
here,
drink?
Captain.
Water. You give that strange look. Water? I mean, we get $3 for a Coke. Come on, order a Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
$3 you
Nope.
keep more for a Coke.
Sometimes I'll order diet water.
Remember that one.
Oh
Just
yeah,
to-
that's on my list.
Yeah.
I'll
Sometimes I'll order diet water just to watch the expression of the waiter or waitress. I like messing with them.
Good.
Hardly costs more.
I always say water without ice, and you look at me. Why without ice? Well, I got a kidney problem, and that affects my kidney problem. Well, all ice is out. Okay, ice is ice is ice. No ice.
Tell them you want warm ice.
What is it?
Tell them you want
ice.
warm ice.
Warm ice.
Warm. Not too warm. Just knock the edge off.
Why not hot ice?
All right. Hey, I got a couple of co-hosts popping in here tonight. So, folks, if you want to show something on gallery, you got something your turn to speak, got a problem, situation, a condition, you want to say hello, whatever, jump up. And this is especially inviting to new members. Remember, there's no hierarchy here. None. I mean, I'm the almost star member. Note the almost. So if you want to be a star member, step up and say something. But if you have a chat, a gallery item, put it in chat. Say, I have something. I have chat. I want to show. I have a problem. I mean, anybody can do. I mean, we invite everybody, including this guy right here. Let me see something. If I can get him, he is right there. That's the guy.
Billy.
Okay. Oh, that was quick. All right, get off my screen.
Who?
I had a message popped up.
Oh,
I got this done a couple of days ago. Finished it. It's a little mesquite
Oh my.
box. Look how red that mesquite is. There's no stain or anything on it. This is the natural color,
Wow.
and
cool.
and it was a really gnarly looking piece when I got started, twisty and all kinds of stuff. And I didn't really want to lose that, and I didn't want to go through it either. It's only about a 1/16 of an inch thick right there.
Wow.
But got a little decoration on the bottom. See if you can see that.
Nice.
And pop fit.
oh, wood turn is top. Wood turn is top.
That's the inside.
Beautiful.
And like I said, I didn't go through, but boy, it got close in a couple of spots. I used Brown's Best texturing tool and textured the inside of the lid and used Hampshire sheen gold embellishing wax over the texture. And it's
That's
just
nice.
just a simple little lid, but
Hey, Billy, the
What'd you
golden
use for
tech-
gold?
nice fit. Pardon?
What'd you use for the gold?
It's Hampshire sheen gold embellishing wax.
Oh,
Is,
That
is
I-
it in?
that-
Is it in the cracks or on top?
It's down in the cracks.
Thank you.
That's
See?
very nice, Billy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Wow.
And I tried my crown spiraling tool first. This mesquite is it's really old. I mean, really old. I've had it probably 20 years, and it was really dry. And I don't remember ever turning anything as hard as this. It was wow. I had to try multiple different tools to try to get through it. It was tough, but
Do you
done.
buff, do you buff it when you're done?
I did. I've it's just I finished it with Howard's feeding wax is all. I've got 2 coats of Howard feeding wax on it, and I buffed it up. This is it's sanded to 600, and this is just pretty much the natural sheen of that mesquite.
Yeah.
It looked like that before I put the Howard feeding wax on it.
wow.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
That's all I
Thank
got.
you, Billy.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Use
you,
that
everyone.
Ron Brown's best spiral decorating tool. Boy, I tell you, Ron Brown comes up with some gizmos and gadgets. He really
Yeah, he
does.
does. He does.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. He is. No matter what y'all say about him. Let's go here. Charlie Bundy says he's got something to show tonight. Charlie, you're up.
There
Charlie,
it
you're not
is.
talking to us. Okay.
How's that?
We got
Better. Yes, sir.
I had a message pop up that ain't popped up. I've made a couple more bird houses. Had to have a duplex.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good
It's
job, Charlie.
What kind of wood is that?
The birdhouse is made from diamond willow, maple finial and top.
Cool.
Very
And then that's the same diamond willow
Nice.
and then maple. I
Well,
don't know
that's
what the
it.
top on that one is. It was on the floor.
Good.
Foffwood.
very nice, Charlie. Very nice.
I
Really
gotta
pretty.
handle them carefully because they're not completely dry yet.
Ah,
There's a bowl.
Pretty.
I can't do a Aiden Badger yet. It's 3/16 thick.
mhm. I like it.
Beautiful work.
Is that box elder?
Maple.
Really?
Maple and box elder are cousins. So
Okay.
it will get the red and blue algae that box elder gets.
Okay. That is gorgeous.
Box elder actually is a maple. Acer negundo. It's part of the maple family.
And then I make these. It'd be easier to make them with a bandsaw, but I'm a wood turner. This one ain't glued down yet.
We
Bring it
can't
up.
see this. There you go.
Very nice.
Sweet.
I've made about 4 of these.
That's cute, Charlie.
Run out of paint.
Ah. Uh-oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Hey, back to your duplex. Those 2 birdhouses are they one piece?
Yes, they're well. The bodies are, but the roofs are
No, right. The duplex.
the duplex. Yes, that's one piece.
It's one piece. Is that all hollowed out?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Otherwise, it'd
job.
be too heavy.
Nice job.
Thank you. And there's one that's been painted. It's a shorter one.
Oh, that is pretty.
I make them put them together. She puts the ornaments and whatnot on them and
Nice.
paints them.
Looks like
Wait.
precious, what is that?
Precious
Precious moments?
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice job.
Yeah. That's all I got handy.
All right, Charlie, appreciate it, sir. Very
Thanks.
much. Great to see you tonight.
Nice,
Hey, before we go too far, I gotta put this up. Oh, it didn't go up. Hold on, it's coming. Gotta press the button. This is what's coming up on December 21st. This is our Christmas Ornament Gallery. For a recap, just a week or two ago, we had a birdhouse gallery. And we invited all the members to send in, to bring in and show birdhouses they made. See what Charlie's done? That Charlie's work is beautiful. That's just the beginning. And we had more and more and more. It was so great to see the art, the talent, the technique that went into these things. It's just not a birdhouse, it's a project. Well, December 21st will be there. Any and all ornaments are welcome. Any shape, size, or color. It can be a cute, wild, a standard. Just be creative. Just do what you can. Santa's, now remember that's the fat guy in a red suit. That's, if he's on air, it's optional, but we expect it. And batteries are never included in this project. That's coming up December 21st, and it's something for you if you want to be part of the program. All right. I lost one of my charts here, but let's see. Billy Burt. How about Craig W?
Here he is.
Hey there, how y'all doing? First
Good.
off, this is just my second week, so I didn't realize that we had. I'm guessing we got a lot of vets in there, but there I am.
Cool.
So, Captain, how long were you in?
4 years and 3 days. Not that I
Okay.
kept track.
Okay, I did my 20.
Well,
But-
I was such an impact on the Air Force that they've closed every base I ever served at. I don't know why I did that to them.
Okay, well,
They did the same thing to my Navy bases. Every ship I was on was decommissioned and every base they shut down. So there you go.
well, my first ship was decommissioned. It was the first of a class, and I'm still upset that they used the second of the class for a museum. I was on the Forrestal back in the 70s. But I got myself
Interesting.
most of what I'm working with is stuff I find on the road, on the side of the road. And this here is a bowl that I just finished.
Very nice.
That's pretty.
Wow,
Very
look at
nice.
that grain.
It looks
It's
very
awesome.
burly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely had some woodworm or something to it. Because there's a lot of holes all around. Get this back so you can see a little bit
Nice.
better. And like I said, I like to do a little bit more on the bottom than just a flat bottom like I just saw from one of our cohorts there. But I've got about 15 pieces of wood ready to start shaping on bandsaw, so I don't have to work on corners too much. But I got about 10, 15 bowls waiting down the road for me.
Nice.
I was inspired with the 2x2 ornaments that we had last week. So quit rolling around. Here's a little top that I made.
Oh, that's cute.
Cute.
And just use my wife. Unfortunately, I lost her last year, but I've got a bunch of her decorating stuff and pins and everything. So that's what I decorated that with. And then it took me about 4 or 5 tries to start to actually figure out the bell and everything. But I really didn't have to do a whole lot of sanding because of the way that our instructor showed us last week on instead of shaving instead of scraping.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one
Yes.
here just isn't decorated yet, but
Very nice. Good
Yep.
job.
no, thank you. Thank
Nice
you.
work,
It's-
Craig.
It's fun, and I'm getting more enjoyment out of it. Again, just had to get a start on it.
Nice.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And last week's demonstration was by Mark Soleil, and that's
Yeah.
on our website. So if you missed it, you can get it. Now, let me
I'm
explain
bad on
something.
names.
Mark did that voluntarily for us. We don't
Yeah.
pay demonstrators. I mean, we pay our master webmaster, but he's the best in the world, so you got to step up. But for demonstrators, they work. They do this for the love of wood turning, just like we're doing it. So who else we have? Brenda.
Scott.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Brenda.
Yep. I see.
So, I started all these projects when Billy started his live the other day.
Uh,
Oh,
There's
nice.
a ripper for my
Yeah.
sister.
Ooh, I love that. Get shape.
She's also going to get one of these.
Ooh.
That's nice too.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
And then this was going to be a Christmas present, but my wife decided she liked it.
Yep, that happens.
I like it too.
So do I.
That does happen.
Oh, what kind of wood is that?
Catalpa.
Mm,
Nice.
man, I like that.
It's got really pretty grain in it.
Yeah, it
Yes,
does.
it is.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And I love how the bark turned brown, real dark brown with the oil.
It's
After-
beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Oh, very nice.
So
Very nice.
those were all turned in Billy's live. I had them done before he was done, actually.
What kind of
30
finish did you put on it?
This has the first 3 layers were shellac, and then the last 2 layers are antique oil that Dean Grime recommends, and I really like it. I'm beginning to like it more and more.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that Minwax antique oil myself.
Thank you.
cool.
That's all I got.
Nice job.
Beautiful.
Nice job.
Nice work, Scott.
Thank you.
really nice.
Hey, let's go.
Dean, that was a good tip when you shared that tip. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Safety Sue.
Hey there. First, I want to welcome Ronnie's back. He's in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
There
Ron.
he is.
Thank you, Sue, for that email.
Oh, I'm anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Okay.
Okay, I was playing this week. Got one project 2/3 of the way done, so you're not going to see that this week. But I was playing with embellishing wax by Deco Art. It's a gold embellishing wax, and then you polish it off. But I dyed it black first, and this is oak, obviously, and then I put the embellishing wax on it. Not sure I really like it yet, but it's
Oh,
growing.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that. That is
I like it.
It took me a while
nice.
to get the black to show back through, but
How did you get the what did you do to get the contours? How did the texture get there in the first place?
I took a wire wheel to it
Okay, all
Well-
right.
while it was on the lathe. I
Try it
sand-
with.
I
do you
sand-
Really
have-
love
do
the
you-
effect.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like oak or ash to try that on?
Well, this is oak here.
Well, I mean, without the wire brush.
I could try it without the wire brush.
Yeah, I'm just because I've done that with other embellishing waxes with oak, and it settles into the grain. And I don't know if it all depends on the wood, of course, but I would be interested to see how that particular wax works with just the grain without the wire brush. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did that on another piece of oak and it just colored the whole thing. It
Oh,
didn't,
okay.
it didn't get into the crevice. And I tried it with, I had dyed the wood black and then put a green, it's actually called a gilding paste on it. And it's by Deco Art. And
Okay.
the whole thing just gave me a greenish hue. So I actually, I sanded this to 250, then took the wire brush to it, and then turned around and sanded it with 300, and then started with 300. And
One
then,
of the other suggestions I have is
yes,
take your gilding paste and dissolve it in a little bit of denatured alcohol.
well, that's a good
and
idea.
And then wipe that on and see how that, whether, because what that does is it'll, you know, the parts of the gilding paste will settle into the grain a lot better and not just color the whole thing.
That's a good idea. Then I
Yes.
tried on a piece of oak. Yeah.
So something else you can try with oak that I've done is you can char it.
Okay.
And then sand it back very lightly. So what happens when you char it, the open structure of the grain of the oak gets even more open. It's crazy as it sounds. And that embellishing wax or stuff that you're using will go into it a lot better. I've done it with white stain and other things as well. It works great.
That sounds good because I want to do some on my ash handles. So, you know, make them more personal.
Yeah, I haven't tried it with ash yet, but it should have the same effect.
That sounds good. Thanks, Billy. Thanks,
My
Matt.
pleasure.
Is the lathe running when you wire brush it? Or
No, I turn, you know, myself, you
yeah,
know, each section. I want to hit it while the lathe was running.
yeah,
But I guess I could, but put it very slow.
yeah. Nice job.
Great. Thank you, Sue. And Sue will be back with us a little while before Trace does our demonstration at 7 a.m. 7 p.m. Central. Oh, God, 7 a.m. Sounds like I'm talking to Billy Donald, but down over in Australia. And we're getting a couple of other countries popping in here. If you're just joining us, you're very welcome to join in. You got something to show, put it in the chat and we'll get to you. And Brenda's going to, I'll get names right. Brenda is going to introduce the next next galleries. Brenda, who we have?
We're looking for Tom Kenny.
Here I am.
Oh.
There he is.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody. I got a holoform to show tonight, and I wish I could tell you what kind of wood it is. And I wish I could operate this computer too. There we go.
Oh,
It is faulted something or other, and the collar and the finial were maple that I just used a black lacquer, and then the cap is a piece of bloodwood, and it was much nicer, much more vibrant color back when I turned it a decade ago, but it's kind of browned up a little bit, but it's still a fun piece. I have no idea what the base of it is.
That something or other base is gorgeous.
Yep, thank you.
The whole thing is pretty, but the grain in that thing is wow.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
love it.
That's all we got. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thanks for sharing, Tom.
Thank you.
Some beautiful work we're seeing here tonight. We'll look at everybody's stuff. And remember, we have a no but guarantee.
What are they saying?
If you show us some gallery tonight, no matter what you show us, no matter how it's made, how you did it, how it's finished and all, we can't say I like that, but the but's not permitted. That's the guarantee. That's a guarantee. We're never here. Yeah, we are never here to critique anybody's work. I haven't found anybody yet qualified to critique my work, your work, or that guy's work. It's ours. It came from here. And that's what we believe. And everybody's got a fair chance at it. Oh, we had a note here and I lost it. All right, we're back to gallery again. If you got something to show, pop into the chat, put it in there. I see Jim Selby signed in, but then he said his internet's not working right. It keeps freezing up, so he'll give us a talk to next week. We have a few other members that won't be talking to us tonight, but they're monitoring because of other commitments, which is good because we're all family based. I heard from Ron Radliff. Ron commented on something I put on Facebook the other day. I was sitting out on the veranda and just playing around, and I thought about something that happened a long time ago when I was in the Air Force, and I wrote the story about it. It was an actual story. It actually happened. And Ron said, "You're lucky not still sitting in prison." Ron, you have no idea how that. Ron, I thought about that forever, and realized, I know who those people were that saw me. Then I qualified enough to know my license plate number. All I could say is code red. It was interesting. It was interesting. But you have fun. We just talked with somebody about having fun and what they did in the military. Today's Pearl Harbor Day, and it's a time for us all to think about what we went through and then what we did. And that could make anybody that helped in World War II very, very proud. If you know a veteran from that service, thank them. Congratulate them. Really worth it. Who's up?
Doug Miller.
Doug Miller.
I tell you what, last, I don't know, 3, maybe even 4 weeks, I've done nothing but turn Christmas trees. I'm about Christmas treed out and thought I was done, but then both of my outlets said, we're out of trees, we want more. So I've been turning more this past week. It's a great problem to have, I guess. But I wanted to show you something. I came across, there's something flying really fast. I don't know. Anyhow, that's what I got. I just wanted to show you all that. Eddie has said it time and time again, if you can hold it, you can turn it. I'm going to try to grab it in that recess there. I don't think there's quite enough. And if I don't, I'll put it on the vacuum chuck, suck that up, and then I can work on that inside, get that shine real even.
I wouldn't try. Yeah, you can see it. I wouldn't try the recess. I would just vacuum chuck it.
Yeah, that's what I would do too, Doug.
Yeah. I don't think I have to turn it fast. I just hold it enough to spin it so that I can sand that down, get it nice and even. And I'll take it back to 100 grit and work it back up to 320. Then I'll work the magic of finish on it.
That'd be nice. Want to see it when you get done.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Yeah, how can you make it more perfect? Jeez.
And for a piece turned in 1909, that looks pretty good.
It does.
2009.
2009.
Like that already.
Oh my goodness. Let's see
Okay,
if we
who's
can find
up?
Terry. How about Terry?
Yeah, I'm here. You got me?
There he is.
Well, I've been going along a little bit, and I've been playing with the kaleidoscopes and trying to figure out how to get in. I got going pretty good, but I thought I had one to show you that it turned into a project today. When I was all done with it, I got it finished. I think you can see it, but it's actually a kaleidoscope. The kaleidoscope is made out of cottonwood, and the carriage is made out of 2x4s, and the wheels and everything are made out of 2x4s. And there's spoke wheels.
Wow.
Did the whole thing. The kaleidoscope lifts out of the cradle. I put some stain on it this morning and I didn't like it. So I sanded it off of the kaleidoscope and I was trying to clean it up on the rest of the carriage so that I could do it. And I buffed it and I caught it on a buffing wheel. Almost broke my thumb and busted the carriage. I'm going to have to build a new one. I glued it back together so I could show it tonight. It was kind of neat, and the wheels were kind of a challenge. I always go looking for directions after I'm done, but I didn't have even done that yet. So I'm not sure how everybody makes a spoked wheel, but I made these. They're dowel rods and they're 2x4. And I brought the little fixture in to show you that I made the wheels on. The wheels are actually made out of a 2x6. And I cut it square, and then I used the indexing wheel to drill the holes in it.
Oh.
On the one that I made, the one that's on the cart, I cut it like that and cut the inside out first and then I could see what I was doing and drill the holes, but they were kind of rough because they're down there and they chipped out. I had the hub a little small. So I went and was going to try a different approach. Now I'll tell you what, not what to do. Don't do it this way. This is the way you can do it. I tried to just drill it before I hollowed it all out in here. And the drill walked. I got it all done, went to hollow it out, and all the holes in the center weren't where they were supposed to be. The drill, with it drilling that deep, the drill caught and walked sideways and messed it all up. I had actually made 3 of them, was going to try to show you how I was doing them, but that didn't work out. So definitely I know I got to do that. What I do with the 2x6, I made the 2 at the same time. You can see in the line in the middle where I divided it. After I got done, I made this part and put the spokes all in it and glued them in and let it set. Then I turned it around the other way and drilled the other side and then hollowed it out together. I put the dowel rod through the middle, so when I took the parting tool and cut them apart, it wouldn't go flying. And it worked out pretty good. And this is the jig that I made to do them with. To turn them with, it's just a piece of plywood that I can clamp on the drill press. And it's got a 1/2-inch dowel in it, made the same as the hole. And I just put the wheel on like that. And when I started, I run a line, one line with a pencil straight across, dead center on the hole to give me a center. And then when I went to set it up, I just put a square on the base where that line lined up and then moved it around till I got the drill where I want, and then just drilled in each hole at 45 degrees off where I got 8 spokes. And I just moved it and clamped it, left the board clamped, and I could just move it one at a time and got the 8 spokes in it.
Cool.
Nice.
Spokes were just dowel rods. And then I turned it around and did it after I put the spokes in and glued them and let it set. I just took it off and turned it around without moving the base on the drill press, still hooked. Then I could do the other side. And they would come out exactly the same, so the wheels matched. Then I took a thin parting tool and split them in half. And worked out pretty good. A few things to refine on it, but it worked pretty good for making a spoked wheel.
Nice job. Super.
That's pretty impressive.
Nice, Terry. Nice.
It's beautiful, Terry.
And the base was just made out of a 2x6. I just cut it into a V and I cut it at a taper down to put the hole in the middle. And I just run an axle through, and I made these blocks, and when the buffer snatched it out of my hand, it broke one of them. So I'm going to make the whole thing over again. It looked a lot better with a 2x4 than it does with the stain on it. Just with the natural wood, I liked it better. I'm just going to leave it, but I'm just going to make another frame. The wheels were the hard part, so. But
That's
and
cool.
the kaleidoscope actually got it put together, and it works pretty good. You
What's
can't
the-
see it,
what-
but it works.
Yeah, show us what it looks like through there, Terry.
I did. I noticed it actually worked.
Nice job, Terry.
What's the mirror configuration? 3 mirror?
Say what?
Is it a 3 mirror kaleidoscope?
Yeah, 3 mirrors. Oh,
Yeah.
that's another story. Somebody a couple of weeks ago was telling that they got the mirrors out of a TV. And I said, well, that's a good idea. So I had an old flat screen TV, and I tore it all apart because I wanted a front face mirror. And I tore it all apart, and the mirror is plastic and black.
Good
So
luck. I was gonna say.
he had a different kind of TV than I had. And so then I said, well, I'll order them. So I went on to Amazon to try to buy some. And they were 8 by 10 inches and they were $20.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that's a lot. But I wanted to do it. So I went ahead and ordered 2 of them. Took me 2 weeks to get them. I got them yesterday and they're about 3/4 of an inch by 1.5 inches long. They're for some kind of a technical instrument or something.
Oh,
They're supposed to be 8 by 10 and they're $20 a piece. So
Oh,
I've been
my.
fighting with them, trying to return them, and you know how that's gonna work.
Oh, man.
That's probably $50 down the drain. So I'm still using regular mirror in them, and I wanted to try a front faced mirror, but I don't know what kind of a TV they got that out of.
Hey, Terry.
Not the one I got. Yeah.
Hey, Terry, that was a rear projection TV.
Yeah.
You know, where you had the 3 beams in the front and it would project onto a mirror at the back of the TV and then shine up on the screen.
Like
They're an old
like
TV, not a new one.
Like an old tube TV or something?
No, it's not tube necessarily, but they call them a projection TV.
Right.
Before tubes, yeah.
Yeah, it might be tubes, but it was a rear projection TV. So you can find them on Craigslist. That's where I found mine.
Yeah.
And they're big hunkers. They're big TVs. These things are probably
huge.
20 inches thick, you know.
Wow.
I
don't recall what you're talking about seeing them, but I'll look for them, but I still don't have any mirror. So I'm working on them. But this, I like this a lot better than the other things that I saw. When I got it, the object box is like the other ones I showed you. I've got it threaded together. Well, might be permanently threaded together, but it's a little stuck. But I got it threaded together so you can take it off and put it from the back. Instead, I saw some other ones that were threaded and they were threaded from the front. And the lens was on, but it made it too far back, closed it in too much, so it wasn't getting any light. And I found it works a lot better to thread it in from the back. And then I got the box in there, just dropped the objects in, put the 2 lenses in and do it from the back. And it seems to make it work a lot. It lets a lot more light in than the other way. And that's pretty much
I
what
think
it
it's
was.
gorgeous.
So, but that's what I got. And maybe next time we'll see another one. Like I said, I like the design of the cart that I got it on. It makes a real impressive looking cannon, and I was happy with it until I ruined it. So I'm just pretty much going to make it like that.
Nice job, Terry.
I was very lucky that I just
a lot of
ruined
great
the
ideas, Terry, for sure. A lot. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yes.
Well, you're more than welcome. I like to see what other people do. I sure appreciate everything that we see on here.
Check our chat because Randall Smith says there's a front face mirror on eBay and the numbers on there and everything. So check that out.
Will do.
Hey, that's what we're here for, share information. That's it. Do we have somebody up, Brenda?
Yeah. How about Jim?
Okay. Oh, this is Terry. Struck a nerve, Terry. I'll show you this in a minute. I've been making, I hope this comes up.
Oh, nice.
We can see it.
I've been making bread knives. These are turned, before you cut this in half, there's a center out here. This is square on the end. So there's a center here and there's a center on this end. And you can turn this whole thing and then cut this out on the bandsaw. It's the blade is a replacement blade from, I was buying replacement blades from the bread making machines, and oh God, they're sharp. This has got a guard on it. I get cut looking at these things. I put the guard on before I even touch it. Man, they're sharp. But anyway, they really cut. And there's also right-handed and left-handed. if you look at this thing close, you'll see that the blade is tangent to the outside of that. A lot of people make bread knives in the center of the blade on the harp, and it will not cut a piece of bread in half. It leaves the last 1/8 inch. So anyway, and there's left-handed and right-handed. I've been making those today. I don't know how many of those I make a year, probably 75.
Those are nice,
Nice,
Jim.
Jim.
There's
Oh,
a
Those are
right.
really nice.
bunch of other ones.
Gorgeous.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Very
I missed it. Are you using just a hacksaw blade?
No, I buy the replacement blades for bread making, these bread slicing machines like they use in the grocery store.
Yeah.
I think it has, a set is like 32 blades, but you can buy them from craft supplies too, when they have them. They never seem to have anything I order lately, but maybe that's me.
Those are awesome.
Thank you.
Nice, yeah.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Don't take the guard off unless you want to cut something with them, because oh my God, they cut.
So you laminated those, Jim, you laminated those with Spectraply on the other, on each side?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's about a 1/2 inch by 5 inch by 1.5 inch on both sides.
It looks like a demo to me.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, me too.
I said a long time ago, I'm not putting that stuff out in my shop, all those cameras and whatever. Get enough trouble. Hey, by the way, I'm not a computer geek, but one of my hard drives crashed. And I said, I want a new hard drive and I want a solid state. Right? And they said, oh, those were expensive, but I think they're coming down. It was $20. My God, is that fast? I mean, to get on Zoom used to take me 5 minutes. And now I click on this thing and you just turn around and it's there.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. It'll probably crash tomorrow now that I said something about it. But anyway, I have to tell you, you struck a nerve tonight with a Canon. This is a kaleidoscope. I sold my first kaleidoscope to a blind woman, and I can't believe she bought. She bought this as a gift for her husband, actually. But it's kind of interesting. This is Yellow Heart and Cherry. This is made in 3 pieces, so the outside is triangular, and when you turn it round on the outside, there's a triangular slot to put the mirrors in. The end on it rotates, and it has oil-filled object box, and there's a 2 diopter. I think it is lens in the front of it. For first surface mirror, you can look on the Brewster Society. There's a bunch of people. Brewster invented kaleidoscopes in 1816, and there's a Brewster Society. These people, in fact, I think they're having their symposium in Raleigh this year. But anyway, they know where to buy all this mirror and stuff. I bought a bunch of mirror, but I don't make it for anybody because you have to make it and ship it and everything else. If you ever make one, don't buy a $4 glass cutter and try to cut the $20 sheet glass because it will not work. You got to buy a $25 glass cutter, and then you stand a chance. Anyway, that's.
You're saying Brewster, like Brooster?
Brewster.
Okay,
Brewster, Brewster Society.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
This is Paula. And
Hi, Paula. Yeah.
I made a kaleidoscope that I want to show coming up, but I want to try to get it where you can see the objects in it.
Yeah.
Every single piece is made by hand. You weld it. You do everything. It was unbelievable. And Jim has plans to do one of these. If anybody's interested, he's got all the plans to build one. And I'll also have to show it because I was so impressed.
Thank you, Paul. Well, I made one of these a long time ago. In fact, my first one was made out of 2x4. And I'll tell you, I should make more out of 2x4 because the grain is so gorgeous on them. I mean, it's soft wood and it doesn't hold up, but they look gorgeous out of 2x4. And I don't know how many of these. I've made thousands of these. I got tired of, after I showed my first one, it's a great training program or teaching program because you make the barrel and on the back end, you have to make a tenon with a glue joint. On the front end, you make a tenon with a rotating barrel. So you have to learn tolerances and that sort of thing. But yeah, I teach it when I have to. But anyway, after I showed the first one, a lot of my friends wanted to make them. So I was drawing these things on napkins and cardboard boxes and getting calls in the middle of the night. And finally, I made a set of plans. And then another long story, but I ended up making a DVD. And then they wanted AutoCAD drawings. So I had to go back to college and learn AutoCAD. And I was the oldest guy in the college. They thought I was the dean. But anyway, I ended up learning AutoCAD. So now I have AutoCAD drawings. This is the next one. This is this is a 12 center turning. Each one of these is 3 centers. This center hole has a cut around the outside of it, and that's tangent to this next center. And that's another center over here, and that's tangent to that. And then so this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The other side is a 12 center turning.
Wow.
Jim, when you say tangent, what do you mean by that exactly? Where are you putting the center?
The center of this one is right here.
Yep.
The center of this next one is right here.
Oh, okay. Tangent to the inner part of the circle. Okay.
Tangent to the inner, so that this circle here, the center of this, when you cut this circle, is the same as when you cut the center. When you cut this one, it goes through that slot again.
Okay, and are you tilting it or off centering it to get the crescent?
Off centering it. This whole thing's turned on a flat face plate. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
Very cool. Very cool. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Then it's airbrushed. A lot of times I don't usually airbrush them, but this is red in here and yellow in the background, and then I clean the front up. But
Nice.
I think I got the back. That's the back of it.
Oh my goodness.
I like the back better than the front.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, they're not that hard to. Well, these are hard to make. I make a single one. Yeah, you don't see many of these around. In fact, actually, this I actually draw this in AutoCAD, print it out, and glue the drawing on the block of wood. So once I've recessed this down to where I want the thickness of these ribs, I glue the drawing on here, and then I can pick up all these different centers. This one's cherry, I think. Anyway, you can do all kinds of things with this. I have 10 center ones, but this is the latest one.
Wow.
And I've been making pens. These are slimline pens. I probably make 200 of these, the slimline and the designer pens. These are just scraps of wood that have been glued together, different configurations. On the end here, this is triangular.
Yeah.
Make that on the end, and then triangulate it so it fits in your fingers.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
That piece you've got in your photo booth behind you is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, how do you see that?
Oh, I can see it.
I could show that too. Well, I think I filmed it. I gotta watch what I'm showing here. This is gonna be
I'm going to pop off your,
Let me shut this off.
there we go.
This is a layered piece.
Oh, my goodness.
Am I allowed to say magazine? I wrote an article for a magazine. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm not. I don't own Wood Turning Magazine. I don't even know who does, but I write articles for them. And this will be in there one of these days. But anyway, it's not that hard to make. But it's the hard part of this has got to be flat, or these come out bumped like this. If that's high or low, you don't get a straight line across there.
Right.
It's got to be almost standard to that. It's optically right. In fact, this could be knocked down just a touch in the center, and that would come. No, these would have to be knocked down more, and that would bring you straight across here. But anyway.
Wow.
The back looks like this. This is cherry, wangy, maple, purple heart.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow.
No one going to show that, but anyway.
Thank you, Jim. Gorgeous, beautiful work, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Love seeing your work.
Me too.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
Now, Jim just mentioned that he writes for Wood Turning Magazine. If you're not members, if you're not aware of it, you can enter into a subscription for Wood Turning Magazine for like $3.79 a month. Think about that cost compared to that other Wood Turning Magazine, $3.79 a month. But when you download it to your iPad, phone, computer, or whatever, and that's all you get is that image. You can't print it out anyplace. But I tell you, it's nice. I've got 2 or 3 years in my iPad, and if I'm sitting around waiting for my wife, which we all have to do, I'll start reading an old article, and they're interesting as all get out. They really are, and it's always something unique. And it is a magazine that encourages turning, not necessarily art. How can you train? How can you teach art? It's in your heart. So, but if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I get mine through Amazon Prime, I believe. You know, we just now talked to somebody about a 2x4 project. I've got the king of 2x4s with us, and I can't get him to come up for some reason.
I think he left.
Okay, I don't think he left. Did he leave? Ronnie used to. There he
He's
is.
sleeping.
He didn't
He's
leave.
sleeping.
It's nap time.
Ronnie, you're muted.
You're muted, Ronnie.
Okay, let's see some. Now I'm up with y'all. I didn't want to hear you for y'all to hear me snoring.
But this is our king of 2x4s right here. It all got started about 3.5 years ago when Ronnie said, I turned this, but I made it out of, there was no but about it. The work is beautiful and it's a great turning experience, right?
There you go. There you go. So if you can turn on a 2x4, you can turn anything.
That's right. So good. And you're using up scraps.
Yeah, for a good while, I was riding around and picking up scraps when they were building a new house, and you get all the scraps you wanted from that, and then come back and make the wig stands or whatever, you know.
Yep, good product. Good to see you back, bud.
Okay, partner.
All right. Ronnie was with me when when I thought about this idea. I contacted about 10 of my wood turning friends and said, hey, do you think this will work? I was with Ronnie and he says, why are you asking? It'll work. This is what we're going to do. And that's where this came from, folks. A lot of folks say, thank you for doing it. Thanks to the team for doing it. That's all I can say is thanks to the team. It's time now to pop over to Safety Sue for our safety program tonight before we go to Trace for our demonstration. Sue, talk to me.
Howdy. Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
Hey, Sue.
There you go. Sorry about the hair, guys. I did have my face mask on when I was turning earlier. So, it is what it is. Let's talk about different types of safety in the shop. Some people will leave their tools underneath their lathe, and if one starts to fall, you try to catch it. Please don't try to catch it. Go ahead and let it hit you in the foot. And if you don't have safety shoes on, shame on you. You should not be wearing sandals or anything like that. You should be wearing closed-toed shoes or boots. My cat wants to get into this. But I just, guys, I'm kidding when I say go ahead and let it hit you in the foot. But I'm saying let it drop. It's better than cutting yourself.
Yep.
And if it does drop on your foot, make sure you're wearing great shoes. Don't be distracted from what you're doing. A lot of us sometimes will hit the item that we're turning before we get the tool on the tool rest. Make sure that the tool is on that tool rest and you're paying attention to what you're doing. Nothing like getting the last lick in and doing a catch all the way up the piece. So be cognizant of what you're doing. And that was another 5,000 word for you there, Eddie. Cognizant.
Sue, can I stop you for a second?
You sure can.
In the New Orleans area, just right across the river, they had a priest, 60 years old, and he was a wood turner. And behind the rectory or whatever, they had a workshop. And he would go out there and he'd turn wood. Now, I don't have the official cause, but what we're hearing, this man, 60 years old, been turning for a while. He went out in the workshop and proceeded to turn. What we're hearing is that his sleeve got caught in the lathe. And the only thing that we know, they found him dead in the workshop. So we're not exactly sure what happened, but what Sue's saying, be cautious, be careful. And I've got another good friend of mine, Bob Bartlett, with another club. A few years back, he came out with a safety reminder. When you come up to your lathe, before you hit that switch and turn it on, take about 10 to 20 seconds and think about what you're doing and think about what you're getting ready to undertake. And believe me, it works, and it'll save you and from having an accident or injuring yourself, injuring someone else. So when I found out more about this accident that happened in this area, I'm gonna try to relay it to y'all. But at the time right now, that's what we're hearing is he had long sleeves on and he got caught up in the lathe. So it's very, very tragic. So.
One thing that made me smile, and not the tragedy, is that since I've been doing this, all the folks out there, including Ronnie and everybody else, have been giving all kinds of safety tips for all of us. And you have no idea how appreciative I am, is that everybody is getting involved. So until next week, folks, I'd love to see you. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
And remember, safety is not a second thought, should be your first thought. And I've known people that have stopped what they're doing and look down for that tool dropping. That is never more important than you. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
And if it gets dull, you should be practicing sharpening anyway. All right. Let's go out. Really. You can't go wrong with practicing sharpening. Just be gentle. Right now, let's go to our demonstrator tonight. Trace is out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Trace, before we start with you, I must do this to explain what is going on and what happens in the demonstrations here tonight. Demonstrations about our members. You can do them. They're not paid for their work. Commercial, it can't be a commercial. It's supposed to be a demonstration. Product endorsements are discouraged, but if you're doing something with a particular tool, you could say, I'm using this or that, like Brown's decorating thing and other ones. If we ask this, please let our demonstrator complete his project before you say, what if, or you know what I do or that do. Let's let him get done, because we'll have a Q&A session right after the demonstration. And we appreciate you helping us out with this, because it is your wood turning club. And we actually believe that, and we enforce it. Early on, when we started this project, it came up as, can we get this guy to sponsor us, that guy to sponsor us? I don't want to marry anybody. I'll date everybody in the world, but I'm not going to marry it. So that's why we have no sponsors. Occasionally a tool will get mentioned and somebody will say, okay, talk about that tool. It was a reference, okay? Not a promotion. So let's go to Trace right now and get our demonstration going tonight. Trace, talk to me, sir.
Okay, got.
You're on deck.
You're on.
Okay. I seem to be getting more and more gray hair in here every time I see myself. So, what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to do a orange stain.
You got an echo. You're echoing.
I've got an echo.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Trace, we're going to mute everybody and let you come up again, because it might be somebody else's audio popping in. So everybody's muted. Trace, pop back in.
Okay, is that better now? Do you hear me? Do I still have an echo?
No, you got the
one.
echo. Yeah, it's like that reverberation thing from Star Trek.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I just show a different.
The echo's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Still there.
Yeah.
On that one, is that one better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What we're going to do tonight. Oh, by the way, we're talking about safety. About 20 years ago, I want to take the video.
You still got it. Wait, you still got
It's
it.
back.
Echo's back.
No?
That's another reason I don't do it.
Okay. I tell you what, go back to something else and let me work on that. Let me switch and let me put a mic on it.
Might have
All right.
two mics on.
Give me a
Okay.
minute.
Yeah, he'll fix it up. Hey, we can fix anything here at Worldwide Woodturners.
Heck yeah.
.org. That's our website. .org is our website.
Somebody
And,
had a question.
Let's go to, actually, let's go to Paula real quick. Can we?
if Paula talks to us.
Back on. She wanted to show us her kaleidoscope.
No, I'm going to actually show that another night when I can actually get you to be able to see the stuff inside of it.
All right then. Okay. All right, let's go back to Craig then.
Clint, go ahead, talk to us.
Yeah. Whoop, there he is. There he
That's
is.
great.
All right. I was always taught that you never, when working with rotating tools, you never use gloves or anything like that. The one question I got is sometimes when that wood comes off that bowl or whatever, man, it is burning hot. So, you know, I really try to be super careful with it and everything, but I do put a tight fitting glove on my left hand. So, I mean, otherwise it just burns the edge of my hand from that wood that's coming off the piece that you're working on.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any other recommendations?
Take the fingers off.
Huh?
Take the fingers off.
I use
the-
open finger gloves for that, Craig.
Okay. That makes sense. But I had a brother-in-law that used to work at a wood mill, and he was working on the planer, and it was super cold, so he had gloves on even though he wasn't supposed to. And you can just guess what happened. He got pulled right into it, lost 4 fingers.
Mm.
So I've always been super careful since that. And it just, like I said, sometimes that wood comes off so hard or so hot that you end up getting burned there, and then you're focusing more on the burn than you are on the piece. And that seemed to be more dangerous to me than wearing a tight glove. But I think I'll do that. I'll just take the fingers off of it and everything. So it just protects the heel of the hand.
You know,
And you know,
so I was going to say we're all responsible for our own safety. But whenever I see someone with a glove with fingers, I don't even want to watch them turn because I cringe.
Yeah, I can understand that. And
so if you tight fitting glove without fingers or thumb, I can watch that. I just can't watch somebody with fingers on their gloves.
Yeah, well, that's
one of
why
the
I've been using those mechanic type gloves that are super tight on the fingers and everything, so you don't have excess material sitting out there.
Yeah, mine are tight fitting mechanics gloves, but they're open fingered. They have no finger.
I'll take care of
ends
that
of the
next time.
fingers and thumb are not there.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
all right, Craig, check Amazon because there is a brand of gloves out there, and they do make them with the hemmed no fingertips. And
Okay,
they
so then
made
you don't have to worry about fibers getting caught.
Right.
You guys all know that I turn with a left-handed glove on for medical reasons, but I had another related sort of comment regarding the chips coming off hot and so on.
Yeah.
I was turning an old piece of dry cherry and the chips were coming off. They weren't coming off in streamers. They were coming off as chips, and I was turning fast and it was hot and my arm started hurting. So I looked at my arm and the hair, I had little blood spots on my arm, and the hair was being abraded off by the sandblasted chips that was coming off of the wood.
I believe
So
it.
basically how I solved that problem was I got a piece of cardboard and I masking taped it around my hand.
nothing cures anything better than duct tape, correct?
Yeah, it wasn't duct tape, it was masking tape. I wanted it to break away if something happened.
Smart. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
I understand that.
Ready.
That does get hot.
It does. It will. Tracy, you ready again?
Am I still getting an echo, or is that better?
You got a
Echo's
little
still
bit of
there.
one.
Oh, okay.
All right, he's working on it. Get back to it.
Do I have an
If-
echo now? Do I have an echo now?
Nope, it's gone.
Okay. I switched off my
All right.
mics and just went to the camera. My camera
There you
mic.
go. There you go.
All right.
So
Now he's on deck. This is our demonstrator tonight, Trey, out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Yes, sir. Let's go. What you said? What you gonna do?
I'm going to turn. Let me switch to that camera. What I'm going to turn is a ornament stand. The one on the left is an old style that I used to turn. The one I'm going to turn today is going to be the one at an angle.
Oh, nice.
And we'll turn and finish it. It looks like a very elegant type finial, or finial stand. You can adjust it to any height you want, or make the wires any length you need to support what you're doing. So it'll support just about anything. So let's go ahead and get to it. I am going to start with a 4-inch long piece of wood. This is about 3 inches in diameter. And I'm going to start with putting a tenon on both ends. So let's go ahead and turn it on. I said, I'm just knocking some of the corners off.
While Trey's getting this ready, Craig, check the chat.
Okay, thanks.
My jaws are dovetail, so I'm putting a dovetail on it. And to do this, I'm just coming in. I guess it'd be better to have this attack not floating. I'm just coming in and picking the back of the handle up. Yep. Now we get the stuff out of the way. These go very quick if you don't have to set up between things. So, little talent chuck with dovetail jaws. And yes, you can get dovetail jaws for the one-way chucks, which is what this is.
And dovetail jaws do not have the ribs on the inside. They're slick.
Correct. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, they're called profiles on the website for one way.
Yep. You can see this is slick on this side here on it. It's a slight dovetail on it versus this jaw here is the standard profile jaws with the teeth on it.
Oh, okay.
That's the difference. Now I'm doing this because I need to drill a hole inside of this piece. Here's the finished one I turned earlier just to practice. And it has a hole in it to be able to weight it down. You got to put weight in it because this thing will turn over if you don't weight it. So I am going to drill a hole 3/4 of an inch in diameter and 2 inches deep. And I'm going to go 2 inches deep. So to measure 2 inches deep on this, I'm taking my ruler and I'm lining up 2 inches here. And when I get to here, I've moved it 2 inches. Turn this down a little bit. Add some airflow to it.
Why is he doing that? Gets the chips out the way and reduces the heat.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, me too.
Now, because I had the air flowing on it, the air helps to keep the bit cool. And I can actually touch it instead of burning myself on it. And it keeps the chips out of the way. So I drilled 2 inches with that, with a 3/4 inch bit, and it actually single pass. I'm not trying to push it as a single pass, but that's what I did that time. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn it around. That's gonna be my bottom now. This will be the top. We're starting to back off a little bit. Okay, and we'll just remove some wood.
I'm going to interject. See, he's using a roughing gouge. Boy, is that a bad name for a tool. Look at the shavings.
Yeah.
Now I need to remember something as I'm going down on this. That point right there has a hole drilled in it from the inside. I cannot get, if I get less than 3/4 of an inch there, I will make a funnel.
Beautiful.
Check that location again, because I have made some funnels and I don't want to do it tonight. All right, we got plenty of room there, still there. And if you'll notice, my tool, it's acting as a skew when I'm making that cut. This part here that's cutting is acting like a skew. And if you look at the wood, it's giving me a nice clean cut on it.
What type of wood is that, Trey?
It's maple. And I'm using maple just because I'm able to get a baseball bat that'll let me do it.
Thank you.
It's a stock that
Thank you, Matt. I was trying to ask.
It's a stock I could have that I could go 3 inches and it's dried wood.
Thanks, Matt, for asking that, because I was asked twice. Was wondering why he didn't answer me. Had my mute on. So.
One thing that also looks really good on this is if you put a centerpiece about a 1/4 inch in diameter, a 1/4 inch flat, and glue it up as a stock, and have that striped wood coming down the middle of it. Oh, you didn't see that. You didn't record it, did you?
Only in demos.
Oh, no. No. No.
That just shows that it happens to all of us, Trace.
I forgot the cardinal rule. You always point the gouge in the direction you're going to move it. I had it pointed backwards. You point it backwards, it will skate every time. That's just a marker place for me to drill it later.
What's the diameter of the tip of that right now?
About a 1/4 inch.
Gotcha.
After that slicing, he doesn't have to do a lot of sanding.
I've already turned around. I think he got it out. I turned it out. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the catch. I'm talking about the whole piece. It was sliced and it looks really good.
Yeah. I started with 220 sandpaper. Because I didn't have any tear out or anything.
Is that like emery paper?
Question.
All right. The turning part's over. Next thing I need to do is to cut it. Now I am going to cut this bottom off. I like about 15 degrees on it.
You're out of camera, sir.
Oh, okay. I like about 15 degrees on this angle cut. Instructions I saw show me at 20. And I have a device over here on the bandsaw that allow me to hold it and keep my hands out of it. If you don't have that, take this, glue another piece of wood to it, preferably a square piece of wood that's the right size, before you make the cut through your bandsaw, and let it dry. Don't try to hold this and make the cut in the bandsaw straight through that. It's going to grab it out of your hands and possibly pull your hands into it. So glue it up. If you don't have a way to hold it, glue it to another piece of wood. You're going to cut this off anyway. And as I say, preferably a square piece of wood, or even a 2x4. See if I have one. I could take a square piece of wood, glue that up to that, and that would give me something to hold it to in the bandsaw, and it would give me a flat surface I could write it on. So glue it up to something to make the cut. Don't do it, don't hold it by hand.
Good safety tip. Thank you.
So, and we're going to run over to the bandsaw.
We're looking at a different table.
I'll move these out of the way.
Okay, there you go. Jim Duxbury says, don't worry about it. If you mess one up, he saw 2 more scraps of wood on your plate that you can go do another one with.
You're right. I do have them back there. I'm prepared.
Oh, now
Oh,
I
he's
got what the
gonna-
thing was. Oh,
He's got
isn't
a
that cool?
chuck- Oh, yes.
Now, this was a jig I made primarily to put a piece of wood in and rotate and get an angle cut to make waves in the center of a bowl or the edge of a bowl. And that was the primary purpose of it. But for what we're doing today, it does a fabulous job of it. This is 15 degrees. And we'll put this in here.
And the chuck is fixed. Y'all looking at the chuck's gonna be a fixed piece.
Here, let me see if I can. Pull this over. Now, as I say, the primary purpose of what this, I had made this for, let me mark it so I can get back. Here, I'll make the cut and then I'll show you the other part. Making sure it clears.
We're looking at your shoulder, Trey.
This is a jig that they use for cutting. You bring it up to a point, and then you can sit there and you can cut a round shape into a
oh man
surface.
So if you have it set for a radius and a point, you can do an inside and an outside. So if you put them together, you can have a piece where you've changed the color halfway down.
That is correct. They match up.
Slick jig.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you see the extra holes in the base of the where the rotation is too? The screw in the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm rotating on this point here, but that can be moved and reset all the way down to whatever point I want to rotate it at. There's holes up under here that I'll mount to, so I can move it out.
Like that.
There's also,
We're recording this, right?
not here at any point there too, so.
That's
Oh,
a
don't
great
worry
jig
about
tray.
that. Dave Rose ain't missing this one, that's for sure.
When you cut that tray, all we saw was your back of your shoulder.
Always saw with the back of my shoulder.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the
you were
camera's
standing in
behind
front
you.
of the saw.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna cut this to show you what it does. Well, I'll go ahead and cut it. And then I can put another piece in and do it again. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here.
Wow.
Nice.
Totally. I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
And I can make it here, it makes up. And I can grab another piece of wood, put it in here, and I get the exact same cut.
Yep.
So I can put color patterns in the middle and everything else.
Oh, man, you hurt my head because I'm looking at projects I can do with that thing.
So how did you hold it at 11 degrees? Oh, gotcha. All right.
I'll put that over here and put a little clamp on it.
Okay.
That's how I held it when I made the cut.
That was 15 degrees, right?
Yeah, 15 degrees is what I did. You did it there.
Okay.
And I had this adjusted in. Oh, the one adjustments I have it clamped. I had adjusted in, so it just cleared my chuck.
Okay.
Well, I had it. But the primary purpose of this tool is to make this cut here. But it allowed me to safely do this.
Nice.
The next steps out of here are pretty straightforward and easy. I got to add some weight to it. So to put weight on it, I tried pouring lead into them. It worked okay. I still had to glue it in. I still had to put glue on it when I did that. And I was getting a burn line around here from the hot lead in the middle. I solved that by wetting the outside, and I didn't get the burn line. But a friend of mine's doing these too, and what he does, and probably the easiest way, fishing weights, and glue a fishing weight into it. Epoxy that fishing weight in. And the last step after epoxying the weight in, because people don't like lead, I came back and put this, I filled it in with this. So underneath it, this is all you see, and you don't know the lead is inside of it, because a lot of people really freak out when you say lead. So you're not going to eat it, and it's enclosed. So the last thing you got to do, I drill an 1/8 inch hole in here, because the wire I'm going to use is a number 8 wire, which is an 8 inch hole.
Do you usually drill that 1/8 inch hole on the lathe, or can you?
You can, but I've been drilling it by hand afterwards. I have a spot to drill it from, so it's not a big deal. I drilled it by hand afterwards. You can see where I filled it in on the inside of it, and then sanded the bottom off. That's an 1/8 inch hole. This is a number 8 wire. And I'll take a piece of wire. The wire I've been using is about 1 foot long, so it's 12 inches. And let me grab one. "12-inch piece of copper wire. Now, it's never straight when you get it, and you need to straighten it out. And I found the best way for me to straighten it out, I use a soft blow hammer. And I can just do it on the lathe since I'm not hitting it that far. Rotating the wire. Okay, and that wire is straightened out. If you use a hard hammer, the hard hammer is going to put dents in it, which you do not want. Next step, and I won't show you that, but I take it to a sander and I point it. The point on it is so that you can grab it right here, grab it on the ornament. Some of my ornaments are really, really, really tiny, so I'll add a hook to it instead on top of that. But then, after I've
Can't see what you're doing, Trey, out of the camera.
okay, I made a pattern. So I can come back and duplicate it relatively easy on the bends. Just because if you're making any of them, they run out. The hook's there just to help hold it. Roll camera again. Grab the camera. What? Fairly close. I'm sure it's not identical, but it's more than close enough. And you can adjust it afterwards. I take a round pair of jewelry pliers, grab it in here, and sort of grab and sort of pull and rotate to get that little tip on the end of it. And that's the wire part of it. Very easy, simple project.
And elegant.
And very elegant. It's a really nice, elegant stand compared to, for doing it. You've got the wood in here, and you can see how quick it went. And if you're making a bunch of them, they go very quickly.
That's awesome, Trace. Thank you.
So it's a nice, easy, elegant stand. So I start with let me get my numbers out for you. I started doing this, by the way, recording stuff. 4 inches long. I'm showing 2 1/8 minimum, but I like the 3 inch or 2.5, 3 inch minimum. 3/4 inch hole, 2 inches deep. Fill the hole up with weights, and he used 20 degrees. I like the 15 degree a little bit better. He used fishing weights, which I agree with is probably the easiest way to do it, and epoxy this in. And then on the wire, taper it on the wire. He used a bigger size wire. I've gone to this number 8 wire, which I think is about the right. That's about the right size and shape for this. He used the thicker wire, but I like the thinner wire. So, and that's it. It depends on how heavy a weight you're hanging from it. You can adjust the wire so it goes in or out, whatever you need to let it work on that. But anyhow, ornament stand.
Great demo.
That's really
Thank you.
nice.
Great idea.
One of our members put in the chat that he uses a piece of 3/4 inch steel bar for the weight.
That would work.
Yeah, and for the folks in Canada that can't buy lead anymore, that's an alternative.
I have a bunch of it. And I have some molds I can use, and I just poured my own molds for it.
That is awesome.
So, and that's the demo for tonight. I know it was quick, but it's an easy project.
Okay.
And as I say, the main thing is when you're cutting it off, recommend just glue it up to a square piece of wood and let it go with it and let it dry overnight and then cut it later. Unless you have a way of holding the chuck like I did over here. So, because safety is utmost on that, because your fingers would be way too close to it to do it.
Craig.
My friend doesn't do that, but he built a jig to hold his in, to hold it and turn it in to do it. So, same basic philosophy.
Okay, questions for Trace?
Yes, I just have a comment. Instead of cutting it on a bandsaw, how about holding it against a belt sander on an angle?
You could do that. The only problem, what normally happens when you sanding in grain that much on wood, it starts getting really hot and burning.
Yes, that's true.
Now I do sand the bottoms of them. I'll turn around and put it on my sander downstairs and sand the bottom to get a good surface on it, because that's not a very good surface. I have a bandsaw cut on that surface. So I'll sand the bottom. But you could sand it too, but you'd have to really go super coarse and work your way through it.
Get one of those little felt pads that I get from Amazon for my coasters. And I drop it at, what is that stuff called? E6000. Just one little drop, twist around, and that'll give you a little soft bottom on it. And it also covers up that hole where we all know lead or something will be in, so you don't get quizzed about it.
Well, the problem with the E6000, and I use it all the time, E6000 I can't sand.
No, if you overdo it, you're stuck with it. It's on my keyboard right here.
Right. On this here, I just put it on the sander and sanded it off. The one I just turned, and let me switch back to the other camera. No, I didn't make it. This one here I just turned, that surface is rough. It needs to be sanded. I sanded this surface after I put the stuff on it. So by putting just the plastic wood on it, it fills the hole. Does a great job of filling the hole. It's not obtrusive. It blends in with the wood. Looks great. The other thing that you can do with this, you can put a different piece of wood down the center section, a different color wood on the center. Say 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch thick that goes straight down the center. And that looks really, really nice.
Wow.
To glue it up as a sandwich.
And if you miss the center, that's just more accent.
Yep.
The weight that you put inside of it, about how much weight did you add to it?
I fill it up whatever I can. I try to fill it.
Okay.
These are some options on weights. Like, that weight there is about the right size. It'll go down in there. It fills the hole. I'll pick it up. I'll never find it.
Yeah.
And then these two weights here. They will fill the hole up
Okay.
down flush, or I have these 3 smaller weights and they'll do the same thing. So whatever you can get in there, I would put in there,
Okay.
weight wise. You want as much weight as you can to keep it down because it's offset, and if you center all this directly on top, dead center on top of it, of this point here, it'll be stable, but you don't always do that. And the weight helps to keep it there.
Gotcha. Thanks, Trace.
Trace, you're only 15 degrees off center. If you laid that out and turned it between centers, you could almost turn that thing or drill the bottom and put a cone in there and put your tailstock in the other end and turn it off center, couldn't you?
Oh,
I bet you could turn that off center.
You probably could. You could probably do an off center turning.
okay, boy, you just threw a kink in it because Jim's gonna have to show us how to build that rig, and now he can show us how to off center turn it.
But I'm willing to bet between centers, I can turn them out twice as fast as you can before you trying to go offset.
Probably, but yeah. Well, once you got it laid out, you're almost tangent to the side of that thing. You could turn that off center, I bet you. Anyway, great demo, really nice. I like your shop too. It makes me feel like home.
Yes.
Hey,
I love that jig you had on
I
the.
cleaned the floor out and everything just for y'all.
Yeah, if you've already drilled, if you drilled the small 1/8-inch hole on the lathe, then all you got to do is put it between centers and put your cone center in the 1/8-inch hole. There you go, right like that, and you can just zip it right out, without having to build the other jig.
I like that jig on the bandsaw.
Yeah,
I was going to say, then you miss all the fun of building the jig, right?
But I already had the jig for the bandsaw already, and I just used this application for it.
Great demo, Trace.
So I already had it. So it wasn't something I built just for this.
Yeah.
You can see it does a whole lot more than just cut. But so
nice.
That is a unique project, I tell you, really nice. Hey, here's your chance, folks. Make the base for the ornament you're going to show us on December 21st. Tracy, you're going to be in that? You're going to show us you're going to show us your ornaments December 21st?
I'll be around, so I can probably pull out a couple.
All right, good. We're looking for them. Any other questions for Trace tonight? You did an excellent job here.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, I want to ask about the plastic wood. How long does that take to set up?
It was pretty quick, and within an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
It surprised me how quick it set up, but it set up pretty quick.
Now, if that's a true craftsman, it doesn't know how long that plastic wood takes to cure. He's never used it. He does such good work.
No, I've never used it.
See?
I've used some other stuff. I've used rock hard putty and some things like that. I've never used the plastic wood.
Some of that plastic wood shuts up in less than 2 minutes.
Well, I tried to get something that was solvent based versus a water base.
Yeah.
And the plastic wood is a solvent base and not a water base. It's not water base, it's a solvent base. So that was so when I went to the store looking for a way to fill it, I went ahead and went with that. The other one was white, and I didn't want a big white blob on it. This sort of blends in a little better. So
yeah, but that solvent evaporates a lot quicker than water.
Yes, it does, and it doesn't raise the grain or anything else. So
yeah, I remember that from when sitting on a stool watching my dad back in the 50s and 60s doing woodwork. That's been around forever.
It's been there forever, and it doesn't shrink up as bad as some of these others do either. Some of the water-based stuff shrinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of your other options might be to cut a 3/4 inch wood plug, and plug the hole and then saw it off, and then you have wood as a plug instead of the plastic. So just another option.
That works. I originally was planning on putting a bottom, like a piece of cork on the bottom or something. Then I figured that was too much effort. Cork or leather or something. That was too much effort to do that. So I opted to just plug it with some plastic wood and go with it.
Yeah.
As I
And
say, to
folks,
keep people from freaking out about seeing a piece of lead in the bottom of it.
and he's talking about time. This is the king of production right here.
Yeah.
He's not talking about doing one or two, unless you say hundreds.
Yeah,
But
I only do these in a couple dozen. So
Only a couple of dozen, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Trace. That was an awesome demonstration, sir. Very nice.
Definitely.
Welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yes.
And you're doubling my
And-
regular pay, right?
And we sending you something. I think it's Craig is going to send you some wood blocks of some stuff he turned. He said it's so great. He's going to share wood. I never share wood, so
I'm
it's
not
okay.
going there.
Your check's in the mail, Trace.
All right.
Uh,
Well, folks, you tuned in to worldwidewoodturnings.org. We meet, and if you did know this, you probably do, but we meet every Wednesday evening, and it is your program, and we don't con anybody about that. We don't try to sell you insurance on your car, reduce your student pay, student loan pay, or anything else. We just want you to be part of sharing, and that's critical. Now, talking about sharing, tonight I loaded on one channel because I couldn't get into that second. The promo for this week, which is a art gallery of what we do. If you want to be part of it, it's simple. So is. You email a photograph of your work to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Very complex. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Include a photograph of your piece. I'll take that photograph and insert it to iMovie, which is the program we use to generate the trailer, and you'll see it. And we get so many fantastic photographs of stuff they do. I mean, it's sometimes you just look at it and say, how did they make that work? And we're not talking art. It's not like you see weird stuff and all. It's just some beautiful artwork made on a lathe. And we invite you to be part of it. And speaking of that, we have a website, probably the world's greatest website dealing with wood turning. We'll throw it probably away one day because we are. If you have something you like to share to our website, all you have to do is send it to, do the contact thing and send the information to our master webmaster, and he will use it for that. Hey, I'm looking at items on the website right now that came from recent demonstrations and shares from our members. And also, worldwidewoodturners.org has an event list. Now, here's the rules. Pretty simple. Any event that deals with wood turning can be on the list. I don't care who does it, where they do it, if they charge, they don't charge, it's free. You got to be a cousin or whatever. If it's an event dealing with wood turning, we will advertise it or list it on our event list. And if you're looking for something to watch this weekend, you know what? Keg Bolger out of Toronto is going to be hosting a pay-per-view this weekend. I think it's on Platters. It's on Saturday. You're talking about an excellent demonstration. I can tell you it's going to be excellent before you even starts it. So, but that's what we get, and that's what we share. Speaking of sharing, if you got something to show on demo tonight, all you have to do is let Brenda know, and she'll pop you right up. Trace, they're asking what size saw blade are you using on your bandsaw? Oh, he's not at the desk anymore. All right. We'll pick up a little bit on. Brenda, do you have somebody? There he is.
Quarter inch.
Quarter inch.
Quarter inch. Good.
Because you're not cutting anything heavy. And you got to make a turn. So
Perfect.
Yeah, what's the TPI? The teeth per inch?
I would think it'd be a 6.
Coming
I
back.
think it's about a 4 or 6, between 4 and 6.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a 4. That's not my primary bandsaw. It's just the one I use upstairs in the shop for small cutoffs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Trace. I'm not a fan of big, heavy, wide, coarse bandsaws. I have a chainsaw for that. My bandsaw is my primary cutting tool in the shop, and in particular, I use a 3/8. 6 is my fine blade. A 3/8 4 is my rough blade, and that's really all I need. If you overblade it, you're overworking it. And Trace told you a while ago, if you're going to do something round, block it in something that is not round. A simple sled that'll hold a rounded piece like a dowel or a shaft or whatever is easy to hold on to. If you go into a bandsaw with something that's absolutely round, we talk about teeth. If those teeth grab the front edge of that piece as it's going around, it's going to pull it down. Hey, you're going to lose your fingerprints. You look like you're in the witness protection program. You might lose more than your fingertips. So let's be careful about it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go back to gallery now. Brenda, I see a couple of people in the line. Who you have?
Bob Grinstead. Hey, Bob. Wake up.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey there.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you my stand too. Let me find the deal here.
Nice.
But it looks
Nice.
like this.
Very
But,
nice.
I
Nice.
like his point. I like the tapered point he did there. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually bought a brass rod, but I think that copper that he did would be a whole lot cheaper than the brass rod is, and it worked just as well.
I like the copper he had.
Yeah, I did put the hole in it and put that lead weight. I mean, not the lead weight, but the steel weight in here, that 3/4 inch steel weight. And I used tight, quick and thick by Tight Bond glue and mixed with wood chips, and worked out fine too. It probably dries slower than the plastic would, but it still worked out good. But I enjoy those. Those are good. Thanks, Trey. Thanks for that demo. That's a great demo.
Now, Bob, how did you cut yours at the angle, the 15-degree angle bottom?
I made a jig out of a piece of 2x4, cut a little 20-degree notch in it, and put a backer board, like a little piece of 1/8 inch board behind on the bottom of it, so I could set this down on it. And he's in that 2x4, so it can just ride straight into the blade, and it's going right beside the edge of the 2x4.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a cheap, dirty way to do it, but I liked his jig. I'm gonna have to make one of those jigs.
Yeah, I like the fact that it had the all the the jig.
Adjustable part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all nice. I'm gonna have to make one of those. I'm gonna have to try the scallops he's talking about on the edge of a bowl. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
Yes.
No, the scallop is in the middle of the bowl.
The middle.
You cut
That's
that. You cut that curve, and then you glue a different color contrast wood into that joint,
Yeah.
and then you put the surface back on it and glue it back together.
Oh, I got you.
And you put a thinner thing that'll bend over that makes a curve, and that you have a curve into the edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you rotate it around and you do it on another side.
Yeah.
And
guy who did that is a guy named John Beaver. He calls them wave bowls.
Yeah.
But they looked good. I like his wave bowls.
I can show one if you want to see it.
Sure. Show it.
Okay, we'll come to you in a moment.
No?
Find you.
Oh,
Keep moving.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
Oh, there you go. Huh.
Yeah, neat. That's neat.
And that's what the jig does, is that.
yeah.
It cuts that shape.
Yeah, I can see how it would do it.
I don't see it.
You don't see? But it's a
Oh, you
real
don't see
science.
Yeah.
You have to go back to your geometry book, the depth of that cut. By setting the radius, if you refine that thing a little bit, it'll almost talk, I'll tell you. By starting it here and making it end there, you're going from here to here, the 3 points define a circle. You got one here, and one here, and you can define the radius of a circle with that. If you wanted this thing much lower and this much higher, you would have a shorter radius circle. So you can lay this out and make that pattern anything. If you wanted this space wider. Anyway, nice job, Tres. I've got the jig and I've got it refined to make all kinds of things. I've never seen it held in one angle and pushed through the saw. Okay.
Well,
without turning.
Like, why did I think of that? Thank God.
I had the jig, and it's like, okay, now how can I hold this and do this? And
yeah,
my friend that showed me how to do it actually made a jig to help hold it in there. And I said, well, heck, I already have it. Why do I need to worry about making another one?
In fact, I got mine pinned right to the, I drill holes in the saw base. I shouldn't tell that, but anyway, I have it pinned right to the saw base so it can't move. Once I set it up, it swings an arc. But that's fabulous to set it at an angle. You can do all kinds of things with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I learned a lot.
Wow. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Let's see if we can find Stephen Makuka. I'm sorry if I did not spell that or say that name
No,
right.
that was great. Right on the button.
Okay. What you
I
get?
have a vase I did.
Nice.
Cherry.
Oh wow. Is that a hollow way down?
It's drilled. I got a tube in here so you can put flower in it.
Sweet.
That's really pretty, Stephen.
Very nice.
It's high gloss finish, and then buffed with the Beal buffer. I tried to dye the bottom here black with leather dye, but it kind of bled through. I put 2 coats or 3 coats on it, but it still bled through a little bit. Has anybody experienced that with leather dye on the wood?
Sounds like a question for Matt.
What do you mean bled through, Stephen?
You can see some of the cherry wood through it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It didn't. Should I sealed it first with like a seal coat and then dyed it?
No, not necessarily. Leather dyes are penetrating dyes, and that's you're gonna see the grains through that. If I want to make something really black, this is me now. This is just me. If I want to make something really black, I use Speedball Super Black India ink. That's the only thing I use.
India ink. Okay.
Yeah. Speedball Super Black. I've never had it bleed through, or what you're calling bleed through. I've not had the grain express itself like that. Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's lighter in places. Yeah,
Right.
Speedball won't do that. It'll be black.
He's probably right about the Speedball. If I want something really black, in the past, I've had a lot of success with Chestnut Spirit Stain. The black.
Hey, Tom Kenny tonight used black lacquer, and I've never even thought of that. That came out really nice. What's wrong with that? I'm thinking I might get a can of black lacquer.
Well, your issue with lacquer is that lacquer fills holes. Okay, I mean, lacquer is kind of like a paint. It's a surface. It doesn't penetrate. So if you've got texture or whatever, you don't want to use lacquer on it. You want to use a stain or a dye. But yeah, I mean, I use black lacquer regularly too. But if I'm ebonizing something, then I'll use Chestnut Spirit Stain, the black. But I'm tempted to try that black stuff that Billy was talking about.
That is gorgeous piece.
They're very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Love it.
Billy, can you put that in the chat?
Billy,
What's
did
the
you
name of the product? You stole my thought. Billy, throw the name of that product in the chat, please.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
I think Patrick Hogard said it's a speedball. SPEDBAB. Oh boy.
Speedball.
I'm getting like Jim. You know,
Okay.
the words don't want to come.
Link is there. That's the link.
There you go.
That's the link. All right, great. That's what we do. Share information. If you've got something you want to show on chat tonight, on gallery tonight, say I know things. Go right to our chat, put it in there. I have something to show, and we'll do that. Remember remember we just announced it last week, and this is what it's going to be. On December 21st, we're going to have our first, I want to say annual, Christmas ornament gallery. It's really not a challenge. There's no winner except you. It's for you to show us what you do. Any and all ornaments you make, any of them, any designs. You just saw a nice ornament stand that you feel free to use and copy. Any shape, color, or size you wish, any materials you wish, cute, wild, standard, just get creative. Just go nuts on it. And if you add a Santa, you know, he's the fat guy in a red suit. There's an optional decoration, that's fine. But sparklies, glitter, and things like that's all invited. So that's coming up December 21st. And we invite you. In fact, it's not a challenge, but we challenge you to turn an ornament and show us what you've got. Because what we saw in a birdhouse competition or challenge a couple of weeks ago, we called it after Bob Moffat because Bob is the birdhouse master. We saw some fantastic art, and we're hoping to see the same thing for the Christmas ornaments. I wish we'd promoted this a little bit earlier, but hey, it's time to get them. How many of us put off making the Christmas gifts we need in 3 weeks? Huh? Think about that. You know, and what? Everybody that hasn't, raise your hand. I don't see a hand out there. But that's what it's all about. Brenda, anybody up for gallery?
Nope, I don't see anybody right now.
Hey, Captain,
I can't believe.
Captain, I got a question.
Go ahead, sir.
What medium do you use when you guys are using coffee grounds to fill a void?
I like to use an epoxy, but I've had really good friends use just a medium thick Star Bond CA. And I've used Star Bond with other products to fill in color stuff, resins and grinds and all that. So
So how deep a
epoxy
void can
might
you
be an
fill?
overkill.
How deep a void can you fill, Captain?
Well, I've done 7 3/4 an inch deep. A hole in the side of a bowl that you could pass a mouse through. And it worked out well.
If it's a deep gouge, you gotta do it in layers.
Okay.
Right.
I have turning a piece of river birch that had a bark inclusion in it. And I was trying to save it. Well, it didn't save, and I can't find it on the shop floor because mine's not as clean as Trace. So I want to use, I'm either going to use colored powder or I'm going to try to use coffee grounds, which I've never used.
When I use coffee grounds, Scott, I use Star Bond medium.
Okay.
And
That's
like
what
you said, if it's very deep, you want to do it in layers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Star Bond won't penetrate right. And
it's probably 1 inch long and a half an inch deep at the deepest point.
yeah, I would do two layers.
2/4 inch layers.
Yep.
And another thought too, depending on when you're layering stuff, depends on what you're putting in for layers. If you're putting something in that has any value to it, like metal powders or stone inlays and stuff, do the first inlays with wood shavings, fill it in with wood shavings, and then the last 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch, you can put the better quality stuff.
Good idea.
It saves
I've
material
always-
significantly for anything that has any value. Like if you're doing turquoise, filling it with turquoise, instead of hiding turquoise in the middle of something.
Yeah, I was gonna use mica
Good point,
powder
Chris.
I use when I do casting.
But even the micro powders, you're still using something of that nature. You don't need to put it in the center.
Do you scuff between layers then, or do you just pour one over the other?
One over the other.
Yeah. Scott, I've always used thin. I mean, the medium works fine. I like to use the thin because it does go all the way through. It penetrates really well.
Yeah, yes, it
And-
penetrates
and-
better.
If you put too much glue, it's going to go off. It's going to smoke. That coffee is a natural accelerator for the CA.
Oh, okay.
So you shouldn't even need accelerator.
I try not to use accelerator. I don't really like it. It tends to white up on me.
Well, the coffee is going to do that.
My shop is
Shouldn't
really
make it go
warm.
white though, I wouldn't think.
I've had it do. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't, Billy.
My CA flashes off fast. I have a warm 30% moisture content in my shop. I have a pellet stove, so it's really warm in there most of the time.
Hmm.
It also depends upon if you're using used coffee grounds or fresh coffee grounds.
Which is better?
True.
It all depends. I love used coffee grounds.
That's what I
Others-
use.
Others use like the unused.
Okay.
The used coffee grounds, you got to make sure they're real dry.
Yes.
Maxwell's.
I take mine right out of the coffee pot and I spread them out on a piece of Corian and let them dry
Okay.
How do you store them?
in a
Plastic container.
in a plastic container.
Okay.
I think
If
mine's
I'm
in
in
a
a hur-
bluebonnet tub.
If I'm in a hurry, I'll put them in my food dehydrator.
Yeah. Toaster oven's good for that.
Water is one of the catalysts for CA glue curing.
Yep.
So that's why your accelerator is mostly water. So if you've got water in your coffee grounds, that's going to trigger it. It's one of the reasons why it cures so quickly on your skin too.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how I know that?
You read about it? Is that you
Somebody
read
told
about
me,
it?
right?
Has anybody ever
going-
tried walnut shells? I have powdered walnut shells that I use for polishing brass. Has anybody ever tried that?
If it's
Yes.
fine enough, it should work fine.
I
Yeah,
haven't,
and
but that would be a good thing to try.
Walnut shell
absolutely.
has people make ink from walnut shells too. So it's got a natural darkener in it.
How in the world do you powder a walnut shell?
In a pipe.
I buy it pre-ground at Harbor Freight, and it goes in a tumbler that I have for polishing
Yep.
rifle ammunition.
Huh,
Okay.
interesting.
I would think a coffee bean grinder would do it as well.
Not mine.
I don't think you'd
No,
get
I
them
don't
fine
think so.
enough.
I think the shell would be
Okay.
too hard.
Yeah, this
I would try to grind them myself.
Not mine.
This is smaller than a grain of sand, so it's pretty fine. It's almost a
Right.
powder base.
Yeah.
I built a little powdering thing from a steel pipe with another pipe that goes inside of it for powdering stone. And that works for walnut shell too.
I bet it would.
And Scott, unless you really want the opalescence or iridescence that you're going to get from mica powders, a cheaper powder for filling voids using CA or even epoxy is powder coat powder. It's a lot less expensive by the ounce than mica powders. And I've colored epoxies with it. I've colored CA with it. And the color range that you can get is just nearly infinite.
Yeah, I've used powdered paint that the kids use in school. I've used that. That works. So yeah, anything powdered would work.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep you can go, but I use the dust behind my sander. And it works great with thin CA. I use usually.
Yep. I use that too. I will collect it out of my dust collector bin if I've been sanding a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it works fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it in an old
Especially-
prescription bottle and save it.
Yep.
Yeah, especially your different colored woods, your exotic something.
Yeah, I've got a box. I've got one container of cherry, one walnut, one maple.
Yeah.
I know I got some bloodwood powder that I saved, and that makes a good stain. So I bet you that would make a nice filler too.
Yep.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Hope that helped you out, sir.
Yeah,
So
now
many
I have
ideas.
Too many ideas.
Yeah. Heather
Okay,
says you could also
Scott.
use dollar store powder eyeshadow.
Oh, is that what you
Yes,
use,
eyeshadow,
Billy?
yes.
I mean, yours looks more natural.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's what Ken Tiffin used to use all the time.
Yeah.
You can get that at garage sales a lot too, a lot of times too. Rich.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that powder coat powder, we look at the save some nickels. That powder coat powder in limited colors available at Harbor Freight. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Let's go to
Uh,
Ray Davis then.
Ray, what's Ray got?
Let's find out.
Back here, can you got me now?
Yep,
Gotcha.
I see you.
All
All
right,
right.
I'm unmuted. I got a couple things. By the way, I bought a little coffee grinder, bean grinder, and I take the shavings, small shavings from my turnings, and I put that in a coffee grinder and grind it up, and then I just mix it with some glue, and it makes a good filler.
And if you're looking for a coffee grinder and you're worried about the cost, go to the dollar store.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, the red, white, and blue thrift store or Salvation Army and those that sell used appliances and stuff. That's a good friend of mine, Johnny Green. He went there and bought them. I mean, one time I went to his shop and he had 5 or 6 lined up on the table because he'd use them so much he'd burn them up.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah,
on
they're
our way.
cheap. Just buy a used one, they're really cheap. Well, I got a couple things this evening. I've been working on wine bottle stoppers for gifts for the family and everything. So nothing special, just
Those
Very
are
nice.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, those are nice, Ray.
and
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out what's a good finish for them. And I was told that boiled linseed oil and CA glue was good, but I tried it and I didn't like it. So I've gone back some more of my friction polishes and that type of thing.
Have you tried the Parfex 3408?
No, I haven't. I'm going to have to try that.
I love that stuff.
Do you use it with anything else or you just,
You put it on just like the CA glue.
okay,
Only one coat. That's all you need.
Yeah, no BLO.
okay, I'll try that.
But you do-
My local wood turning club has asked us all to do a beads of courage. And so I thought, well, I did
Oh,
copy
my.
this
Oh, that's pretty.
and
Yes,
put beads of courage in there if I can get it right.
Yep. I see your screen.
Nice.
Nice
reflection in there.
for the kids and
Oh my goodness.
Nice stave joints too. That's really nice.
Beautiful.
very nice.
so.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I hope some kid is happy with that, and I enjoyed doing it. You know, nothing special. It's just something I saw online. I thought, well, maybe I can make one of those. So I did.
Nice job.
Nice.
That's all I've got this evening.
Very nice.
Thank you. Oh, I think he started some trouble here. That's all I think. Ray, what would you think if next year, because Beads of Courage is a big thing at SWAT and other symposiums, maybe next year we do a Beads of Courage gallery. How's that?
Sounds
Yeah.
like a good challenge. I'm going to be giving this to our local University of Albuquerque Medical Center. They've got a lot of kids with cancer, so that's where we're going to give our Beads of Courage bowls.
It's like with the wig stands we talked about last year. They
Right.
always, unfortunately, they all have a need. So, but Ray, that's it. We're going to do that. We're going to do a Beads of Courage Gallery, and we'll announce what it is. And the rules are simple. And if you wonder what a Beads of Courage is, real soon our master webmaster is going to put the regulations and the guide. And if you want to have a little button in the top, it'll tell you how to get the little buttons in the top. And it's a worthwhile, really worthwhile thing. And these are boxes, Beads of Courage bowls or boxes that go to these kids. And whenever they get a treatment, they get a token. And that token, that marble or whatever, goes in that bead, in that box. And it's really, really, you feel good when you get done doing one of those. Same with the wig stands. Wig stands won't go away. They always need them. Till we fix that disease, they'll always need them. If you turn a wig stand, find a local oncology center and go talk to them. Pizza might not be great advice. My wife gives quilts. Now she'll donate 100+ quilts a year at least to the cancer centers. Don't go talk to management. Go talk to the working dogs. Go talk to the people in the center taking care of patients. They know what it's like, and they're not worried about hoops to jump over or anything else. They know what their patients need. You've got it. All right. We got a more gallery lined up. Where are we going, Brenda?
We're going to go see Gary Bobenhauser.
Oh, man, there he is.
You're
quiet,
Okay,
Gary.
I'm unmuted now.
There you
hear me?
go. Yep.
Okay.
What you been doing this week?
Nothing real fancy. I just made my sister, who's a fancy cook, some measuring spoons and a set of 4. But the fun part was, see the difference in the color of the wood?
Uh-huh.
It's all Purple Heart. This one had set out for a couple of days, and this one hadn't yet. And it was funny to how the Purple Heart really changed color when it was exposed to sunlight. I really liked that. But these were just little simple, easy things for her. So, and it
I like
has
that
great
shape.
grain, great grain. And I just put 2 coats of sanding sealer and then 1 coat of wax buffed up. Like I say, nothing fancy.
Gorgeous.
And then we get things like this, measuring
Got the
cups.
measuring cups. Mhm.
And they came out nice. I got tired of how much money can you spend on Christmas presents? and just decided that I was going to start making more and more presents instead of buying stuff. So that's it.
How did you feel about making each one of them match?
I tried to make all of the cups, the measuring cups, all the same. There we are, got it up there.
Yeah.
All the same style with a center cut. And then these are all tapered down to the end here. But I made all of the cups the same, and all of the measuring spoons are basically the same shape. What's really funny is the second one I made on both the spoons and the cups were a little bit different than the original one, but 3 and 4 are the same as the original one. It worked out that way on both of them.
Hey, Gary, I need to give you a warning, buddy. When you start making those Christmas presents for your family,
yeah,
they won't let you stop.
It won't stop. Yep.
Okay, that's all I got.
Thanks, Gary. Those were very nice.
Very nice.
You're very true, Dean.
Exactly.
Trick
Yeah,
is
one year my wife said, we're not going to make Christmas presents this year. We're going to buy them. My family was so disappointed.
my problem is, Dean, my wife wants to keep some of them. And I have
yeah, I have that problem too.
Let's see if we can find.
We've seen gallery items here. Folks have shown them, and a couple of tonight to where I can't give them away. Who are we going to? Howard?
Yes, Howard.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Anyway, I had a friend gave me some box elder, and so
Oh,
I
boy.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
have a bow saving outfit knocking system, and so I got 3 bows out of it, so it came out pretty good.
My goodness.
Nice,
Very
nice, Howard.
job. And on box
that-
elder, it will fade any light, sunlight, any UV light or anything like that will cause the red to fade, so you can get UV protective enamel, I guess, and spray it real good, several coats on it. And so hopefully it will save the red in it.
Gorgeous.
That's nice.
Very nice.
That,
So how big is your large bowl?
Pardon?
How big is the largest bowl?
What do you think? 15
About that
inches? About that big.
About shoulder width.
15, 16 inches?
About 15, 16 inches, I guess, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
And,
Nice.
I'm not too good at, saving bows, using the knock system. And so I was hoping I was going to try to get maybe 4 or more than that. And I've seen Mike Mahoney do it quite a few times, but I don't know how he does it.
Was that thing difficult to use?
No, at first it was getting the right RPM. So around 300, 400 RPM is about perfect for it. Take your time and just take it easy going in and keep your shavings cleared out of it. And
Yeah.
it'll work. And so what I do, I put here I put a recessed tenon on this part, a recessed tenon. Go ahead and put my finish the base of it, then put a tenon here, then take the bigger bow out first, then remount this with the recessed tenon or the recess on your chuck.
Okay.
Then put a tenon here, remount it, then do your next one.
Okay.
Then on the small one, you got, your recess here
Right.
that you mount on your chuck, turn around and finish the bottom of this, and then you're finished.
Huh.
Well,
Okay.
anyway, that's the way I do it.
Okay.
Mike Mahoney, he does. He starts in the middle, and he takes
Yeah,
them all
does the
out,
small one first.
and then he reverses them and put a tenon on them and finish the bow that way. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I've got one of them things, those jigs too, but it's still in the box.
Oh, is it?
I'm afraid to get it out and use it.
Well, when you come up on some real nice, beautiful wood, like a burl or box elder or something, you hate for these to go to shavings,
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I always try to work to get the largest bow out of it first.
Huh. Okay.
And then keep on coming down.
Okay.
Now,
That's all.
let me add something. Ben Poe, his solution on saving that red color throughout there is it's an airbrush and red dye. Takes there and re-streaks it with that, and if you need to add some lines, you can add some lines to it and everything else. And you know what? Nobody will ever know the difference. After 15, 20 years from now, it still has color in it.
I had a relative that was looking at this and he said, "Well, man, you're pretty good painting that." And I said, "No, it's not painted. It's the real wood."
Yeah.
You can turn maple into box elder then too, couldn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Airbrush it.
Yeah, airbrush it real good.
He wasn't changing stuff. He was actually taking box elder and reinforcing the color lines in there because he knows they can fade away in a few years. And if you could add a few lines here and there to strengthen it. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll see how that UV protective enamel works on this. I hope it stays a long time.
The red
Sounds
inside
good.
of that box elder is bacteria. When the bacteria dies, the red goes away.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm
always heard-
unsure. I'm unsure about that. I've been told that it's actually a fungus, and I have box elder pieces that I've turned 10, 15 years ago and sealed, and they're all still colorful. So, your mileage may vary.
It's-
So,
Box elder is not a spalting, which is fungal. Because it will change color. Spalting will not change color.
that's true.
Spalting does not change color. If you go look at some old wood prints that they use colored wood to make wood prints back, I'm talking about 400 and 500 years ago. And the spalting they put in there and the greens and blues and stuff, they're still brilliant today. Now, the color woods are all changed to brown, but the spalting is still there from 400 or 500 years ago. So
Interesting.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful work.
All
That was very nice.
Yes, very nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, anybody else got anything? Anybody?
Come on.
I got some.
Yeah, what you
Greg.
got?
Talk again, Craig. We got to get
Hey,
you spotlighted. Okay, now you're
There
up.
you go. This is just a little small bowl that I made about a month ago.
Nice. I like
I
it.
don't know if you can see the profile. It just kind of flares out a little bit, goes straight up and then flares out.
Yeah.
And again, the bottom.
Spirals on the bottom.
But I just love the way the wood surprises me on what it's going to be when I'm done.
Yes. What kind of wood is that?
I'm trying to remember it. I don't think it was. I bought several different woods. I'm thinking this was a Spalton maple or a zebra wood or something. I'm not sure anymore because I'd had it for a while and I had the label on it.
Yeah.
So, like I
Call
said,
it whatever
most
you
of the
want.
wood-
Nobody will know the difference.
Oh, I know. But like I said, most of the wood, I found a 5-foot log that was about 10 to 14 inches in diameter and just put it in the back of my pickup truck, took it home. And like I said, I've got a bunch of roadside wood to work on right now. Most of it's oak, I believe.
Nice.
I believe the technical term for that
Right
is
out.
fogwood. Fogwood.
Yeah, fogwood.
Pound on ground.
There, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else for gallery tonight? We got about 25, 26 minutes to wrap it up. If you got a tip or a trick to share with us, this is a place to do it.
You're ignoring me, my chat. There we go.
Scott Hampton has something, yeah.
Yeah. You guys didn't see my, yeah, it's in there. I have a couple of things to show. All right. So
we're ignoring you, Scott. Pardon us.
Me too.
So I was hoping Joaquin was going to be here because I made a dozen of his crooked trees.
Oh, cool.
I sold.
Leaning trees.
I call them Whoville trees.
Nice. Yeah.
And because I called them that, I sold 10 of the 12 I made. That's good. And then I got this tree.
Oh my goodness.
I like that.
My goodness. Look through it. You can see right through that thing.
You can.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I don't have them anymore. This one's just a straight one. But what I also do is I'll make an image. If you look through it, you'll be able to see an outline like of a snowman in there.
Oh my goodness.
Or another tree, a smaller tree inside.
Oh my goodness.
Or a Santa Claus. He's kind of like a snowman, but it's got a pointed hat inside. But
oh my goodness.
those are the first things I sold at my craft show last weekend because I put a light behind it so everybody could see them. And they're like, wow, I can see a snowman in there.
Yeah. Wow. I was just amazed that you can see through it.
And I'm going to show one more thing before I'm going to save the rest for next week for the challenge. But my snowman heads.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay. I
Oh,
don't like to call them snowman heads, so I call them snowball heads instead. Or people, when I call it a snowman head, they think I went to a snowman and just chopped its head off. You know, it's like, how cool is that? So I call
Well,
it
Scott,
so
Scott, not to be disappointed.
guys.
Joaquin just ducked in under the door. Show him.
Oh, sure. Is he here? Yeah.
Yeah, he just snuck in under the door.
Joaquin, I'm mad at you. I took your plans and I made a dozen of these.
Yeah.
I had to adjust them a little bit because mine are a little bit bigger than what you had in the plans.
Right.
So all I did was just to separate the points where you offset it a little wider, you know, the 5, 4, 3, that there's a little bit further apart to make it a taller tree. So
Yeah, I've got it. Was yeah, instead of making it taller, you put 7 sections in.
you know,
it looks good. It looks great. It looks fantastic.
I could try to do that. I'm still playing with it, but I made a dozen and I sold 10 of them.
Oh man, that is fantastic.
I call them Whoville trees or Dr. Seuss trees. So
yeah, Dr. Seuss trees.
Yep. People really like that name. So they were looking at them like, I recognize that, but I don't know where I've seen it from. I said, oh, Dr. Seuss. And they're going, yeah, that's it.
Well, what are you getting for them?
I sold them for $20 each.
Oh my gosh. That's a little cheap, huh?
Well, the area I was in selling them is really a poverty area.
Okay.
So a lot of people can't afford. And plus, a percentage of the money I made went back to the youth group at the church I was selling it at. So
that's better than taking them home. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that people, you know, that they could I knew they couldn't afford $40 for an ornament or a decoration or anything. That's taking food off their table. So
you know, you got to go with the market, you know, what the market is. Yeah.
What do you get for yours, Joaquin?
$5 an inch is what I normally get.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then, you know, at $40, I start marking off good, you know, 40, 45, 50. And that's in the gallery though. But
yeah. This is my last craft show of the year, and it's always I have to lower my prices for these folks.
Man, how many pieces did you have on Facebook? I mean, hundreds of them, it looked like.
Oh my, you saw my post.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my craft booth. Man, it was just packed this year. And I just kept making stuff. I'd do a craft fair and I'd sell a bunch of stuff. So I'd make more stuff. And it was just like a rolling machine, constant. And then now I'm done.
I was impressed. I'm still not caught up. Yeah, fantastic.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
When I did the dot painting, you said that you were going to do. I was impressed too. Like what Joaquin said. You said you were going to add those to your decorations this year. Did you ever do that?
Which one for it?
The dot painting. When I did the dot painting demo.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to do that. I ran out of
cool.
time. So there's a bunch of my snowmen.
Wow.
This is all for my booth here. This is crazy stuff. See, there's some of the trees and stuff.
How many months did it take you to turn that? I mean, you probably started in July or earlier, huh?
I started in June.
Yeah.
I just see the gnomes back there, and this is before they opened the doors. This is, you know, I had everything set up. That's my grandson back there in the corner.
Yeah.
He helped me out a lot. He helped me set it all up this year. My wife was kind of ill, so she couldn't make it this year. But yeah, it was just insane. 3/4 of that is gone. That's how much.
Very cool.
Nice job.
It's great, Scott. Fantastic.
All right. Well, that's it for me. I'll show more
Good seeing you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Great
right.
job.
Appreciate you, Scott.
Yeah.
Let's go back
See you
to
later.
Stephen.
Where we going? Joaquin?
Stephen.
Hello. I'm here.
I got to get Joaquin off.
Stephen.
Talk again, Stephen.
James.
Here, right here. Steve.
Don't see. There he is.
I have a question for the group. I've been looking for plans for a steady rest for my new lathe and to make it out of plywood, and I can't seem to find any plans on the internet. I mean, I could probably make it myself, but it's like reinventing the wheel. I'd rather just get a set of plans if I could that's been thought out and not make mistakes on my own because the plywood's not.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
check out Steve Ogle.
I saw his YouTube, but I didn't think he had plans.
I don't know if there's a plan, but he gives a pretty good description on how to make one.
Right.
So that you might try there, and I think there's a couple other guys that have it. But I think in his YouTube video he references another steady rest where he came up with his idea.
Oh, did he? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just looking if anybody has a source for a set of plans.
There's one, Steve, in the chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Matt. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
Stephen, do you have a hollowing machine system?
No, but I plan to buy one eventually.
Well, when you get a hollowing system, you put that laser bar up there. If you put that steady rest dead center on top, it's in the way. So you want to figure them things off. Don't put the one dead center on top. It'll be in the way of your laser arm.
And I understand that I saw one set that was for sale online that where you could take a section of it off so it doesn't interfere with the laser beam.
Take a look at the Carter steady rest that they sell.
Okay.
It is designed both as a steady rest and a bowl steady, and half of it comes off, and that's a good idea too.
Okay.
So you can adapt some of what they have going on there too.
I was looking at Ron Brown's. He's got one made out of plastic.
Yes,
but that's pretty tough plastic. Let me tell you, I got a whole lot of Ron Brown's plates for the face plates and all. It's hard stuff. It's really good.
Okay. It was just expensive. I thought if I could make it out of plywood, it would be cheaper than $250 for something store bought.
Hey, Stephen, I made a couple of steady rest out of plywood, and if you can give me your email, I'll send you some pictures of them.
Okay. I don't see who's talking. Who's that?
Howard King.
Okay, Howard. Thank you.
Great. Stephen, appreciate it, sir. We'll take care of you.
Thank you very much.
So, Stephen, if you put your email on the chat where
I will. I'll do it right now. Thank you.
Okay. As we're talking about that, and I clean forget it in a promotion sometimes, we have a contact list. It's not a membership list because we don't have membership. The entire world's part of it. But we have a contact list put together by Master Webmaster, and this is how you get your name on it. Oh, you want to be part of it? In the chat, right there, put in what you would like to share. Name, address, phone number, just name what you do, website, your contact page, whatever information you want to share goes in that chat. You put it in there. And Dave takes it out of the chat before he posts the chat to the line and puts it in our contact list. And if you like a copy of it, you go to contact on our website. Right there at the top of that little thing, it's got a thing that says member list. Click on it and follow the directions exactly. Exactly. And the subject is Captain, capital C, A-P-T-A-I-N. Capital C, A-P-T-A-I-N is the subject. And that'll get, and tell you, if you do it right, you pop it in, you'll say it's been recorded. Within a moment or so, you'll get an email of that PDF of that list. feel free to use it. We ask that you not use it for any commercial promotion or any promotion whatsoever. So that's how we get the information our members shared with one another. And really, I don't do the phone anymore. I used to get calls every day by somebody saying, hey, how do I get a hold of Steve? How do I get a hold of Bob Grinstead? How do I get a hold of Matt Harbor? Their names may be on that list. It's not mandatory, it's voluntary. And that information is shared with you, our members. And it's not a live list, and we do that to keep it from being botted. And bot is what happens when somebody gets your phone number or your email address, and it's out there in front of God and everybody, and they just bombard you from a computer. You know how that is. So, in fact, if you don't know, I got a great deal on your car insurance I can get for you. But that's what botting is all about. Boy, if we can't get it outlawed because the people that make the laws use the same system to promote what they want to do. All right, let's go right back to if anybody's got something for the gallery, just let's get it up there. See, Charlie checked out. Matt said he had something to show, didn't he, Matt?
Yep.
All right.
Over the weekend, I was doing some demonstration at a tool store, and the traffic was a little light, and this is just basically to generate club interest and to give something. I was making spin tops for the kids and stuff like that, but the traffic was kind of light there, so I used the opportunity to replenish my stock of gnomes and other things. So I've got a gray gnome, gray bearded gnome, and a white bearded gnome, and a blonde bearded gnome. You know what? Let me turn the light on here.
Is it just the lights, or did those all look the same color beards?
Man,
they're
those
not.
too.
They're not. They're not. So there's the blonde and the white.
Those are big gnomes.
And there's
Those
the
are
gray.
big gnomes.
Yep. And I got a purple one. And I sold the red one, and I got a black one. I also turned 3 of Joaquin's leaning trees. Scott, I'm totally stealing the Whoville tree thing. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I also made a couple of straight ones. So, and some spinning tops, and I made a lot of shavings. At one point I was making 3/4 inch wide, paper thin, 7 foot long shavings from some wet Bradford pear. So it's good times. So but that's all I got. Thank you. I made some cups, I made some goblets and stuff like that, but that's all down in the finishing room. So.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. And Matt, thanks for the help every week when we get together. I have to mention that, Brenda's doing our gallery for us. And that's as a co-host. Dean helps us out with talking and coordinating this thing. Doug Miller in Kentucky helps us out. Matt Harbor's a great help, as I said. Safety Sue, Billy Burt. We have all these folks, and there's no hierarchy here. I got to keep saying that. These are just members that say, hey, can I help? Can I do this? And that's why we do this. And I am playing with the idea, and it might come to fruition pretty soon. I'm thinking about a second, very short demo in the 3rd hour of the meeting. Very short. We get a member that'll share a tip or a trick and show you how it's done. And it can be how to hold something or trace. You can show us how to use that cutter to cut a bowl, or you'll know what it's all about. So we'll do those in minis, and that's coming up real soon. But right now, I'm not talking about a mini. I'm talking major. We're going to go to major. Joaquin Vincent.
Hey, well, I can't get to my gnomes and some other things I want to do. I'm still on Christmas trees and birdhouses.
Very nice.
The demand is pretty heavy down here on these birdhouses. They haven't seen them until this year, and so I'm trying to catch up, fulfill.
Nice.
But I did.
That's nice, Joaquin.
Thank you. I did have this crotch, this Texas 70 crotch. It's been laying on the bench for, I don't know, months. just like that with, all the bottom. I said, well, you ought to do something to it. So I decided to turn it, make a
Wow.
Birdie.
make a wing bow out of it,
Yes.
So,
Very nice.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
otherwise, it's still Christmas ornaments and stuff for me. Yeah. But it's fun. Love it. Appreciate all y'all sharing too.
Yes,
Great.
one
Oh,
shared
man.
causes another idea somewhere, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Sure does.
Yes.
Joaquin, you missed it earlier. I didn't think you were in the house. Trace showed us a jig that he did a cutoff on a ornament stand that you got to see. You got to see the stand, but then they showed the jig on how to cut it off, a safe jig. So it's all going to be in a rerun. The rerun's coming to our website. And
I'll be looking for it.
Yeah, you got to look for it because, boy, we come up with stuff like that to share. We're on top of it. And if you want to do a demo for us, folks, you can put it in the chat. Dane Chandler normally handles lining up our demos. Dane takes it. Dane's a little bit under the weather. He got back from out east, and got on one of those eastern bugs or whatever. So he's under the weather. He'll join us again next week. But Dane does a great job of lining folks up and getting all these programs in place. And we've seen some fantastic demonstrations over the years. And I'm looking forward to even more. Anybody else got something for the gallery tonight?
Hey, Captain, I got something. Howard King.
Hey, hold on, Howard. Let me get me out and talk again, Howard.
Okay. Joaquin showed me his crotch, and I'll show you my crotch.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Love
They went out
it.
GP rating.
Love it.
Beautiful.
That's gorgeous, Howard.
Man.
Yes, it is.
What kind of wood is that one?
It's walnut.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I don't know if you can see it very well, but
Yeah.
They're fun to turn.
Oh,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
That's the back of it.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Great
Since they
proportion.
opened-
God. Yeah.
Anybody else got a crotch to show?
That's what I'm about to say. You two open the door. Let's see what's behind it.
We're gonna have a crotch challenge, huh? Hey, I tell you what,
I have some waiting for me to turn.
I turned a crotch vase, and a lady was visiting, and I said, "Hey, what do you think of my crotch vase, sir?" What? You can't call it that. I said, "That's what it is." I said, "What would I call it?" She says, "A whale's tail vase." I said, "Okay, that's what we're going to call it."
Did she buy it?
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, then, all right, then. She can call it whatever she wants.
Absolutely.
But I thought that was an
Yeah.
appropriate name for it, the way it was built.
And we teased with Scott Hampton earlier this evening, saying we ignored him. We can't ignore Scott. On December 21st, that's our Christmas ornament gallery. Scott's timing is perfect because last time we did a gallery was for birdhouses. Saw the art. If not, check our website. But Scott's going to do a demo for us on December 21st also. Dane talked him into it. I think Dane threatened them.
Yes, he does.
Dane.
Yeah, he did. He said, "You better do it, or I'm going to come and kick your butt."
Oh my.
At least he didn't say kick your crotch. All right. Does Bill Louch have a crotch to show?
No.
Bill, go for it.
Where's he at?
Have to keep talking, Bill, so we can find you.
There we are.
Keep talking.
Hello, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Keep talking.
I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm talking.
There he is.
There you go.
Oh.
All right. So in my younger days, I played a bit of poker. And so, I see your crotch and I raise you one. Okay, that one's Kentucky coffee tree.
Okay, that's it.
Mine's bigger than
job.
yours. Mine's bigger than yours. I win. I got the biggest one.
Yeah, we used to be PG rated here. And I am not going to a crotch gallery. That's not going to happen. We know Doug Rose out there. He's probably got a bathing suit on right now and it wouldn't be happy.
No sense of adventure.
I'll make a motion that we do have a crotch.
Crotch gallery. Unfortunately, Howard, I put that on the list just now. Unfortunately, I did put it on the list.
Billy Burt's got a crotch.
Yeah, Billy Burt's got one.
Oh, no.
We can find Billy.
I can't believe what I started.
There you
Billy,
go.
talk to us.
Got him. Billy, you're
You're
muted.
muted, Billy.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
This one's not very big, but
Ah,
Ah,
I like
look
that.
at that.
and that was where it got cut off, and so
Yeah.
I just left it.
you'd call that a heart crotch, wouldn't you?
Yeah, more often than not, I turn
Yeah.
these natural edge, and I get a heart-shaped bowl out of it.
For Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Neat.
And it was some interesting. What I don't remember what this was. Maybe hackberry,
Yeah.
but it had some cracks and voids that I filled with really fine wire. Let me see if you can
Ooh.
focus it on.
I see that.
Really fine wire and super glue, like telephone wire. And I
Okay.
just stripped it and stuffed it in there and filled it all with super glue and then turned it down.
That's neat.
That's it.
Oh, that's
I saw a
Terry
bird
then.
in the middle of it.
A what? You see a bird?
Yep.
I don't see the
Y'all
bird.
getting her started
90
again.
degrees.
How many animals
Oh.
do you see, Brenda?
It's like a hummingbird.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Straight over. Oh, big. Oh, my goodness. It looks like a cardinal or something.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't
What's on that thing?
How neat.
it?
Oh, neat. Yeah.
You never know what
Thank
you're
you,
going to
Billy.
find in a piece of wood.
Right.
And we were
Wow.
earlier, we were talking about infilling with color, and we've spoken about this before, but the brass that comes off of keys when they're ground at the hardware store, if you go get some from the hardware store, take a regular magnet just and pass over it, remove the steel out of it. So because the brass is much easier to turn, and you can use that brass for infill. The same thing with, I use Starbond medium thick when I do mine. And I even laying in small cracks or light cracks. They're very fine chips and you can work them in. And if you check Hobby Lobby or Michael's, they have a powdered coloring ad for resins and stuff, and those work too. But remember, when you're saving money, go to the hardware store. Oh, and you won't get it at the big box stores. They have those gizmos you stick keys in, and I mean, the people that don't even know what real key cutting is all about, but your
Yeah.
local hardware store does.
Hey, Eddie,
Glenn Dorgan, hey,
we got 3 more crotches.
let's jump into them.
Terry.
Oh, okay, I'm here. I'll do them quick. This is mesquite. It's a
Nice.
suspended bowl. It sits on the ears and not on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very
It's some
nice.
cracks and I put some dog bone patches in it.
Nice.
It's really a pretty piece. It's a piece of mesquite. I try to go quick, so everybody started this late. There's another piece of mesquite. It's got a lot of semblance in it. It's really pretty.
That's gorgeous.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And, I probably got about 30 of them. I got a
Oh
bunch of
my.
them. And this is the third one. I love the mesquite. It's really pretty.
Yes, I love mesquite.
nice.
Very nice.
Wow. Wow.
Beautiful,
Well,
beautiful.
that's it. You can go on to the next crop.
All right. Brenda, find Glenn Dorgnack. Glenn, talk to us, sir.
I'm here. You got me?
Oh, just a second. Yeah.
You're there, Glenn.
All right,
You were.
I was. There
Now
you
you
go.
go.
He's back.
Okay, I got one here, but it's a little mini one. Mini one.
Itty bitty one.
It's only about 3-4 inches diameter, and this one's out of crepe myrtle.
Okay.
I turned that a while back, but everybody's showing the
Nice.
crotch and
Nice.
stuff. Figured, well, I'll show a
A
little
used crotch.
a little mini one. That's it.
Nice. Nice.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
You all.
All right, let's go to Matt Harbor. Where you at? There you go.
I'm here. I'm here. Y'all know I went digging.
Yeah, I had to too.
Listen. Oh,
Okay.
nice.
All
Very
right.
Nice. Look at the,
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
yes,
nice.
nice
I
job.
like the angle.
Great, man.
That
I don't remember what kind of wood this is. I think it was apple actually, but I'm not exactly sure.
Mm,
that's almost an emerging bowl from the way the shape matches.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That
It
is
is. And
awesome.
I got super thin on it, so I was really delighted that this one survived. So.
That's really cool, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow. Yep, awesome.
Almost an optical illusion of sorts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Very
Even though
nicely
it looks
done.
like it's like super warped. Thank you very much. Even though it looks like it's super warped, it's not. It still sits flat in the table. And
Yeah, it
So-
looks like it's warped.
And what he's not
Yeah, it
telling
does.
everybody is that he cut a hole in that flat board and glued it in there.
Yeah.
look at the grain. Look at the grain.
He's got
a grain
it filled in with plastic wood.
Yeah.
I once had a guy I had a vase that I'd hollowed, and I had a guy try to tell his son that the vase was made in 4 pieces, and I was like, nope, that's a single piece of wood, all hollowed through the little hole in the top.
Oh, my.
Looks great, Matt.
Thank
Yes.
you. There's the grain, guys. There's the grain.
Oh, we believe you, Matt.
Thank you,
That's
Matt.
all we got,
Appreciate it.
Eddie.
Thank you very much.
All right. You know, I'd want to see more, but I'm kind of leery about show us your crotch. That's not going to happen.
Well,
That's
good thing
not-
it's late.
Yeah, all you older members, what would happen if Doug Rowe was in the audience and we said that?
Oh,
It'd be even further out of control.
oh,
I mean,
my.
it'd be crazy.
Guys, red, white, and blue bikinis.
Oh. We miss you, Doug. Hope you're back, Professor. So, folks, it's after 9 o'clock Central Time. We normally pull the plug, and I'm sorry. I looked at the chat. Randall Smith says he wants to see how this video gets edited. I do too. Talk about a challenge. It might go beep, 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 beep. Well, folks, that's it. You made my day, made my week. Hope to see all you back here next Wednesday evening. Until then, go out, start making some shavings, and please, above all else, be safe. I'm Captain Eddie. Good night, folks.
Good night, all.
We didn't hear from Donald. We didn't hear from Donald.
Save the chat.
There you go.
Save the
Chat, Eddie.
There you go.
Everybody have a
Save the
great
chat.
week. Be safe.
Good meeting. Good meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Night, everybody.
Great.
Night,
And-
everybody.
all.
Good night.
Thanks,
Monday.
Dave.
12, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well.